happen that has not happened for an age. Entmoot.
That's right. It's Entmoot time. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Welcome along to another Entmoot Live. It's been a while. I can only apologise. I think from memory, the last time I did an Entmoot Live was not long after the first episode of the Rings of Power. So I'm very, very glad to be back. Loads to reflect on then. It was actually also, was it just the Rings of Power, or was it also the time the Osgiliath box set came out? I suppose it was probably around the same time, because I remember that because I had all the pictures loaded into my little area here on StreamYard. So all aboard the MESBG hype train. Very excited. So I'm going to be honest. It's going to be a bit slapdash this evening. I can already see that the lights are very bright. You can see lots of fragile tape in the background, the wall that's falling apart. And I don't know whether it doesn't look like it's coming out HD. I don't know why that is. I don't know whether it looks okay to you or whether it looks a bit crap, or let me know. But either way, let me know in the chat if you're here. Because obviously it'd be nice to know that you're kicking about. If you can hear me, if you can see me, all those sorts of things. And also it'd be nice to know if you are painting or doing any hobby this evening. I'd love to get in on that hobby action. We've got some bits and bobs planned, but I'll be honest, it's going to be a relaxed evening. I've got a mug of coffee on the go, which, God, it looks really overexposed with the way I'm looking at it, saying I'm the boss, and I'm going to be the boss this evening. I'm just going to fanny around for a couple of hours. So let's dive into the chat. Let's see what we've got. Frederick Schultz is in. Hi, Frederick. Where's the whip, Fred? Great battle streams in Middle-earth gag. Really enjoying those. If you don't know, many people watch the battle streams in Middle-earth on a Friday, inconsistent Friday. I'm not exactly sure which Fridays they are these days. It used to be once every 2 weeks. I know they're a little bit less reliable on the every 2 weeks thing these days, but they're still very, very regular. I'm able to get to one for a while. So that's the first of them. No whip, Fred, but feel free to comment pictures on the Great British Hobbit League Facebook page where I've just put, join us over on YouTube this evening for a live hobby chat with games, bants, prizes, and much more. I'd love to, if you do put pictures in there, I'll whack them up on screen. Chris Baird is in. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you. Nice. Is this where we get a free hat? No, but there will be free magazines, or one free magazine at least, given away at some point over the course of the evening. I don't know how long the evening's going to be, probably until I get tired. But the reason I'm doing this tonight, which I haven't done for a while, is because I had a night free for the first time in a while, which is interesting. But also because the fiance Louise is out on the piss tonight. She's getting wasted with her friends, so I thought I would stay in and talk about toy soldiers because I'm cool like that. But no, I'm going to drive and pick her up at some point. So the stream may well end pretty quickly at some point in a few hours, depending on how pished she is. But yes, free magazines, not free hats. Here we go. Who's this? This is The Post Teen Spirit. Battle games in Middle-earth. Blatantly plagiarism of that other stream. Well, I'm going to be honest, The Post Teen Spirit. I think you'll find that my YouTube channel predates theirs by quite some time. And I can't remember whether I did streams before, a live stream before them, but I certainly did streams around the same time as them. So, yeah, I know it's kind of blatantly stealing their thing. But anyway, hey ho. JMac's Armies of Middle-earth is kicking about this evening. Hi, JMac. Nice to see you. I won't say to see you nice again, that'll get boring. But welcome along to the stream. It's nice to have you in. It was a pleasure playing you at Scouring of Cheshire. I don't know whether people have seen, just not long put a video up of that weekend, which probably we'll talk about at some point over the course of the evening. JMac featured in said video and the podcast, which came out a couple of weeks ago about that. So that's cool. I'm going to be cutting bits of paper during this because I forgot to do my prep for the Patron giveaway as well. I'm doing a giveaway for the magazine for anyone who is watching tonight, I'm going to put you into a sort of prize draw to win an SBG magazine. Ooh, very exciting. So if you haven't already put your order in for an SBG magazine, this is a pre-order for that exact thing. So if you don't know the SBG magazine, it's an ace publication by the people behind Battle Streams in Middle-earth. Well, not both of them. Tom is not from Battle Streams in Middle-earth, but Damien and Tom Harrison, Damien O'Byrne from Battle Streams and Tom Harrison of SBG fame, they both make these magazines, and they're absolutely fantastic. And I believe we may have a special guest on the program at some point over the course of the evening who features in this new magazine, or maybe in a future magazine. But either way, it's all going to be very exciting because we're going to talk about a magazine at some point. It is all starting to sound rather a lot like Battle Streams in Middle-earth, but hey, we'll roll with it for now. Anyway, all that from J-Mac saying hello. We'll definitely talk about the camping later. Frederick says, waiting 7 minutes to go live in true B-Simon imposter fashion. I was bang on the money, wasn't I? Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe not. Okay, maybe I was a bit late. It said 8 o'clock on my clock, so I can only apologise. Will we get imposter piano house? No, not quite piano house. Yeah. Hello there. Hello. That's right. Oh yes. Right, Nick. Quite cool. Just in time. Some paint to dry. Hello. Is that a dig? Is that a dig for you? Are you saying that your paint has now dried or something? I don't know. Well, hopefully you're excited and ready for an evening of chat about a variety of different things. It'd be good to know what you're painting. That would be the first question I'd like you all to contribute to. It's always a very exciting thing to know people are doing a hobby out there. I will do my hobby bit in a few minutes' time once I've caught up with the chat, and continue to cut slithers of paper on for the Patron live stream later. I'll carry on. Right. As I live and breathe, it's the great Mr. Parkhill. I don't know about great. I'm not sure about Mr., but I'll accept Parkhill is definitely me. Good evening, all, says Callum. Hi, welcome along, Callum. I don't know I don't know people's usernames, but welcome along anyway. Tim, Friday nights have let themselves go. Thank you very much, Tim. We all know that things have definitely gone downwards when we're watching a guy in a badly branded T-shirt sit in a room with peeling wallpaper talking about, well, actually not even toy soldiers yet. Then it's all gone downhill for a Friday night. But hey ho, Dan Scott's in. Hello, Dan. Welcome along. And I believe I got a notification of some sort on my emails earlier saying that you're a new patron. So that's exciting. So welcome along. Thanks for that, for getting on board. Matt Hudson says, good evening, all. Welcome. Frederick says, wait. And then Everett Harvey, welcome. Yes, you did stumble on this live. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yes, it's happening right now. I have Ev H, another patron, I think. You're not the real Damien and Steve, yes. Hey, the Durin Show, welcome. Which member of the Durin Show are you? There are lots of people with names starting with M, the Mitchell gang and so on, the Hammonds, it is, isn't it? So welcome along, Durin Show. Anyway, Tim says, looks a bit bright, like you've a bright light shone in your face or have freshly moisturized. Yeah, it's my light. It's my light. Maybe I should go with a bit more of a moody vibe. That is that's dazzlingly so, isn't it? Yeah, it's just a crap light. That's what I'll do. Anyway, it's just adjusted anyway, so I don't know. I might try and change my camera at some point. It's this one's not plugged in. Anyway, Frederick says he's not doing hobby right now. Quite cool. I didn't know you were an elf with their bright faces. So yeah, clearly my face is bright. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. Anyway, any whiskey in that? And the coffee? Not yet, brother. We'll get there. Hey Harry, Fat Hobbit Gaming. I've got my tea and painting Thryden Boohararum. Oh, yeah, sorry. Thryden Boohararum. Got you. Love it. Boohararum. Excellent work from Fat Hobbit Gaming. Drop a picture in the old Facebook page, and I will I'll put it on screen, see what your work is. Frederick says, home workout and then burgers for me. Maybe hobby later. Nice. What did you think of the Warhammer Fest MESBG screen? Chris, I will get to it later. Callum, in fact, Chris, remind me, because I probably will forget about these things. But yeah, I will definitely talk about that later. Callum M27. Busy building fiddly Mirkwood Rangers for the Legendary Legion. Now, I've not actually built those Mirkwood Rangers before, but I do have the Legolas and the Tariel model kicking about in a box somewhere. And my God, they do look a bit fiddly, it must be said. You know, I'm starting to think, and this may be a controversial opinion, but I'm starting to think that some of the newer models, despite them looking absolutely fantastic, and there's no doubt about that, they're getting a little bit flimsier and more difficult to assemble than they used to. I've been assembling something which I'll talk about in a bit. I'll keep the suspension building, but it's a newish plastic sculpt, and it's so damn fiddly. Like the way they do the faces now for the sort of the plastic molded SPG models, they're like these little tiny little pips. Then and you've got like the slither of the front of the face that you've got to put inside armor and stuff. I know they did this with Theoden back in the Pelennor Fields box set, and I found that difficult. I mean, it's a beautiful model. Don't get me wrong; the detail is insane on those tiny little faces. But I mean, come on, it's so fiddly. I've got a grey carpet in the living room, which is where I do most of my hobbying. I've got a little sort of hobby corner where I'm allowed to sort of sit and watch over the back of the sofa and all that sort of stuff, watch telly, and I can still do Toy Soldiers, or I can put YouTube on my laptop or something. And from there, I can see. From there, I'm in the living room, but I can often lose little plastic bits into the sort of nether regions of the carpet and spend approximately 15-20 minutes rummaging around, like combing my hand all over the carpet because I can't see it. So I'm just going like, is it? Can my hand feel it? Yeah, it doesn't always work. And Louise looks back at me at various points, just sort of stroking the carpet. And you know, I'm sure that it's at those times she does question saying yes to my offer of marriage. But anyway, yes. So a good for you building fiddly Mirkwood Rangers. Good luck on that. Can we use the free mags to make a hat? I'm guessing this is a Battlestreams in Middle-earth reference that I don't really understand. So I'm going to say yes, because it's probably something that you like. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good thing. You can do whatever you want with the magazines once I've got them. I'm just trying to fiddle with my lights to try and balance out the light. Hat, yeah. Oh, it's Sam Hoodie, by the way, to save you a mouthful each time. Hi, Sam. I haven't seen you in a good long while. I haven't been down your way, and I'm guessing you haven't been up north. I know you've had Babby and all that, but hope you're well. Hope you're well either way. Neumart, I hope that's pronounced right. Greetings from Duisburg or Duisburg? Duisburg, Germany. Anyway, Neumart, welcome. Alex Johnson says, hello all. Hello. Any cattle bumping going on with that special guest? You'll wait and see. Oh my. I don't know what that was for. Hi, Harry. Painting 1 million fiefdoms for tomorrow's team event. Exciting. Steve Mack. Hi, Steve. I thought you'd already finished your fiefdoms, if it's the same Steve McDonald I'm thinking of. I thought you'd already done your fiefdoms. I've seen you use them before. Maybe it was at a lower point, I guess. But either way, cool. I didn't know you were going to the team event. I haven't actually looked at a list. Well, I guess there isn't a list because it's a Warhammer World one. But I didn't know there was you guys were going to be at the team event. It seems like there'll be quite a few cool dudes there. I know I'll be there. So that's exciting. We'll be chatting about that in a bit. So yeah, cool, exciting. Fiefdoms. What kind of fiefdoms have you just got? Don Lamroth? What kind? I'm interested to know whether you've gone for the sort of mixed arms thing or just pure Don Lamroth. Dan Scott's last minute painting Dunlendings for teams this week. Is everyone going to teams? This is exciting. I'm going there as well. Dan, looking forward to seeing your Dunlendings at the weekend. Neumart, I wish I could paint, but I'm on a night shift. I love it. You're on YouTube when you should be working. Excellent. I'm intrigued at what you do on your night shift. What is your job? I'm always interested to hear what, because in the sort of real world, we all have actual jobs, don't we? And we only meet really and know about each other via Toy Soldiers, and we see these names appear on the screen and we're not sure what exactly you do or not. So that's interesting. I want to know what your job is. Matthew Fremantle, my miss is also out on the pish tonight. I've been left to look. Ah, man. See, I'm not there yet there, but it'll happen. I'm sure that'll end up happening, and there'll be no streams for me, I'd imagine. But I feel for you, Matt. At least you can sit and watch a guy cutting bits of paper out on YouTube for a while. So welcome along. Woody brackets rec. Evening all. Welcome, Woody. Nice to have you along. Do I know you? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Either way, nice to have you along. J-Max, Armies of Middle-earth. All this talk of pish has me wanting a drink. Excellent. Yes. Mitchell, there it is. Mitchell, welcome along, Mitchell. Quite cool. Waiting on the paint to dry on some tree scatter terrain before flocking. Ooh, that is quite cool. See what I did there. That's good. I haven't done any terrain in a while. In fact, the last bit of terrain I did. Reaching. Right. The last bit of terrain I did was this one, which is the Osgiliath terrain. And if you're a regular watcher here on the YouTube, this is the bit of terrain I showcased on the controversial video where I was a little bit mean about the Osgiliath box set. I still think it's good value, but maybe not if you already have a lot of the stuff. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to building the rest of that. Although some of the gaps have appeared. I don't know if you can see that actually, because there's a lot more of a gap in there than I thought there was going to be. Now I look at it. But anyway, so there's some terrain. I need to do some more terrain at some point because tournaments coming up. My own. Tim says, oh. I hope you're not in trouble there. Ooh, okay. Why is your pick a German Spielstrasse sign? You see, Frederick, thank you for the assistance with your pronunciation. But actually, I did study German at school, so I know that the funny bee thing has an actual name for starters, and is also a Strasse sort of S sound. So, okay. Sam says he's polishing off some elves for 7 stones tonight, hopefully sorting the display this weekend. I'm very jealous of people who keep saying they're going to 7 stones. Sadly, my brother is an anus, and he decided to get married. And he said, I want to go to see the cricket for my stag do. And I said, oh, that's a good idea, because he's a big cricket fan, and, you know, it's nice to do something that your brother likes, isn't it? But the problem is he decided he wanted to get married in June. And if to any of you who follow the cricket or know vaguely about sports, cricket is a summer sport. And it starts at the end of May, basically. In fact, I think next weekend is the first opportunity I could have done to take him. And like he couldn't go to that one. So it had to be the weekend of 7 stones. And I couldn't very well say, no, it can't be. I did toy with the idea of arranging it and not going myself. It saved me having to watch a little cricket. But instead, I'm going to see the cricket. And it's not even a national game. It's not even England against someone. It's Manchester against... No, it's Lancashire, isn't it? Lancashire against Nottingham or something like that. And apparently there are fireworks and explosions and stuff. But anyway, that's what I'm doing instead of going to 7 stones. And I was really, really excited about 7 stones. Michael Haskell, my regular partner, has had to find someone else, which is a disaster. I'm not very happy about it. I miss out on the whole sort of excitement of the bank holiday weekend where we go down to London and play doubles in probably the most delightful, fluffy doubles event in the GBHL calendar and in general, the doubles event I've ever been to. So, yeah, that's a big shame. Big shame. Anyway, good luck polishing off some elves. What kind of elves? Let me know. Philip says, attempting the new Gothmog on foot this evening, ready for the Gothmog's Legion at the Battle of Canterbury in a couple of weeks. Now, that's cool. I started painting the Gothmog ages ago because I'd seen a really, really cool painting tutorial on the interwebs, and I wanted to replicate it. And then I can't remember what it was that came out that made me want to just move on to something else. But anyway, I just left it abandoned by the wayside. Or maybe it was because I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was because I'd seen that tutorial. I thought there's not a lot of point rushing out because I was going to do like a painting video of it for the YouTube channel, and I may yet. But I thought, well, this guy's done such a great job that I'm not going to bother. So yeah, that's always the shame. But having said that, it is it will be nice to see your version, and also it is a fantastic model. I love it. Not got the Gothmog, not done the foot one. I just got the Warg one. Although it doesn't sit properly. It's annoying because I read that there was a place that you could put your magnet inside, so he stays on the mount, which is really cool. The problem is I'd already glued it together, so I tried prizing it apart, and then putting the magnet thing in the hole in the magnet in the hole that it suggests, then gluing it back together, and it didn't really stick back together properly, so it's actually a bit wonky and rubbish. But so I'm a bit annoyed about that. But hey ho, these things happen. Matt Hudson says, "I wish I was going, Sam. I really couldn't get there. It's one I really want to attend." Yeah, I totally agree, Matt. It is great. Maybe next year. I would totally love to go to Seven Stones again. It's fantastic. Hard to beat more static, solid monopose models. Yeah, I'm guessing you're referring to what I was saying earlier about the idea that actually sometimes assembling models, cleaning up the mold lines, all that stuff, I think it's definitely my least favorite part of the hobby. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that if all the models came fully assembled, looked great, and maybe were posable, like, the old Space Marine models, if you've ever used those, that you could kind of glue the arm on, and you could either glue it here, or here, and it'd work no matter what. I'm quite happy to do that. That's kind of fun, isn't it? Imposing stuff. But when it starts becoming these some of the plastic models that you've got now in the SPG range, they are a bit, well, there's not a lot of conversion opportunities, especially for the heroes, and they are fiddly to get some of those bits in the right order and stuff like that. So I wish that they were either just built in a way that I didn't have to fanny around building them, or that they were at least convertible in a bit more of a exciting way. But I mean, having said that, the detail is much better than they ever used to be. So I guess it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, as they say. Matt Hudson says, paint my Arnor for their first event in Liverpool on Sunday. I have to undo all the collateral damage from my dry brushing capes last night. Dry brushing capes. Oh, I see what you mean. So you've dry brushed your capes and you need to wash them or whatever. Okay, cool. Does that mean you're going to the event on Sunday? Does that mean you're going to watch the Eurovision Song Contest, which is of course in Liverpool? Are you going up there to Liverpool? Are you already there? What's it like? I bet the atmosphere's interesting. There's lots of people out in the streets and all that, which I'd be interested. That's cool. Chris Baird, put 24 models together in 10 minutes. Yeah, that's what I like about the old ones. There is space at the moment, unless you mean as I've addressed, Sam, I would love to get Seven Stones, but I physically can't get there because my brother might be annoyed. Tim says, if folk love toy soldiers, perhaps some might like to come and roll dice on Saturday, the 3rd of June in wonderful Hull. Yes. I'm going to Hull. That'd be exciting. The Battle of Dol Huldor. It's a good name. I like that name. Tim isn't actually the one organizer, but Tim is just an enthusiast for getting more people to events that he's going to. So, it's well worth checking out. The Battle of Dol Huldor, which is always very cool. I'd love to go there. I'm a physical issue, yes. In context. Yep, that makes sense. Ev H. This was in the Czech Republic, but I guess because no children playing ball with a man in a road near a house sign felt a bit specific. Oh, is that your logo? Sorry, yeah. Sorry, someone asked about it, didn't they? Or someone asked about thingies. I'm coming to Hull. Matt's going to Hull. Excellent. Not that we've met before. Well, you can meet now. It will be a wonderful joining of Matt Hudson and Tim Elvis. Can we put the free mag on a hill? True B-Sime in joke. Can we put it on a hill? Is this to do with my name being Park Hill? I don't know. Who knows? I'll be at Hull. Kieran said, we're getting all the Hull lot in tonight. I'll be at Hull. My local club will be my first MESBG tournament. Oh, fantastic. Well, Kieran, I look forward to seeing you there. Let me know what you're taking. I would love to know. Tom, my wife has now decided it's a good time to do the washing up. Please tell her she's a darling. I'm about to start another sort out of my terrain making supplies. Wow. Tom Marshall's wife, you're a darling. Mrs. Marshall, you're a darling. There you go. How's that for you, Tom? I was offered like 3 last-minute space at Teams this weekend, but sadly couldn't be there. Yeah, Sam, it would be lovely to see that. Won't be at the event because living in Germany, lol. Will be at Ardicon this year. Sadly, I can't get to Ardicon. Marriage is getting in the way, sadly. Sent some pics on my Entmoot Messenger. Oh, right. Okay. Well, that's oh, gosh, I have to fiddle around doing, go onto my Entmoot Messenger now. How do I do this? Oh, the computer. I'll do that while talking, but it might just be easier to put them on the Facebook, to be honest. This is opening up Meta Business Suite and all this nonsense. If you just put them on the thread on the Facebook page, that'll be so much easier, because then I can just rip them off that and just watch the one thread, if that makes sense. So apologies for making you send them twice, but please do that. Excellent. What else? What else have we got? I've just lost my place. Here we go. We were both at the Fellowship of Grantham, spoke briefly, but yet to play a match. Oh, okay. But what was your name? That's the thing, Woody. I don't think you introduced yourself as Woody Brackets Rec, did you? Either way, nice to meet you. Again, on the interwebs. Pure Fiefdoms. Had to convert Forlong and Horse as one I normally use as third party and a load of Dol Amroth Knights. Okay, so this is Steve. Forlong and Horse, yeah, I did a conversion for that. That was one of my most frustrating Facebook Great British Hobbit League, probably Lord of the Rings Warhammer Group Rock or whatever it's called, experiences. It was a very weird one. Basically, what I did, I converted a model using, I think it was like an Empire flagellant or whatever you want to call them, and I've just pulled my headphones out, and I posted a pic on the Great British Hobbit League before painting and said, "This is would this be okay for a Forlong the Fat model?" I'd glued it together. He had a big belly. He had like a sort of ribbon around his waist. He had a big spear, and I'll probably get him out in a second. And he had a horn. So I thought that was fine. And then lots of people saying, "Yeah, looks good. He's got a horn. He's got a big belly. Yeah, looks great to me. I'd accept this." Lots of people saying that sort of thing. So I went ahead and painted it. And then when I'd painted it, I posted up saying, "Oh, this is my Forlong the Fat model." Put it on the old Facebook group. People saying, "Oh, what do you mean? It's not Forlong the Fat. That's nothing like him. What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, this is not fair." I mean, obviously they were different people, but it was very frustrating. That's the problem with the internet. I don't like the internet. Anyway, I'll continue looking through people's comments on the internet. Right, Chris says, to be fair, cricket will be a great day out. What match? I have since answered that. But yeah, Nottingham versus Manchester Lancashire at the Lancashire Cricket Club, the Trent. So it'll be good. I'll be out partying that weekend. And we're going to wear... my brother he works in he was a molecular geneticist. Sounds fancy, but now he just sells like petri dishes to companies, and we're all going to dress as mad scientists because he's a mad scientist, so that'd be good. So you might be able to see us on. Well, I guess it probably won't be on telly, will it? Because it's like rubbish cricket, but not the national stuff. But anyway, 7 Rocks sounds like a very cool event. Really want to go. Yeah, some sense. Damien won't even read that, Frederick. Yeah, that's true. You can tell your brother about all the things you're missing out on. Yes, that would be great. I want to have lots of people, if people sharing images of them dressed up in sort of silly outfits, and then we'll be able to. I'll be able to make him jealous. And high elves, yeah, of course. Oh, high elves, thank you. Yeah, that's good to know. What? If you study German, please pronounce Tschechisch Streichholzschatzel. No, that's not even close, is it? Joe Pettit's in. Evening, he says. Looking very stylish in your display picture that I'm proudly putting on the old the internet. Is that a castle in the background? Is that your house, Joe? I've never been to your house. It looks fancy. Is that your house? I bet it's your house. Matt Hunter says, "Oh crap, I forgot that one. It's going to be Murder Getting Home." Oh, yeah, it will be Murder Getting Home. That's from because Matt's going to the one in Liverpool. Imps. Yeah, you got a ticket for Imps, didn't you, J Mac? Very exciting. I'm looking forward to Imps. You earned yourself from Mrs. Marshall. Hey, I'll stop doing that. She won't like me anymore if I keep being like that. I don't like the internet, he said, live on the internet. And there we go. We're caught up with the chat, as they say. So with that in mind, I've mentioned that we've got a live guest at some point in the evening. I'll just message them now because they are meant to be in at some point. But just chat amongst yourselves for a second. When you're ready, just click that link. There you go. Right. So I was going to talk a little bit about hobby. So obviously there was the big announcement a couple of weeks ago at the what was it called? Is it Warhammer Fest? I think it was Warhammer Fest. And some people were a little bit angry. Some people were pretty happy with it. But I have to say, I'm intrigued as to what. Sometimes I think that as soon as that sort of stuff happens, people go absolutely nuts, right? They go either one way or the other. They say, "Oh, I really like that," or they say they hate it and think that the GW team are absolute anuses for even ever thinking of doing something as horrendous as releasing a model like that. But I'll put it on screen. It's just loading. I'll put it on screen. What do you think of this? Because I was very, very proud to have correctly predicted that this was the thing. You may have heard it on the Entmoot podcast. You may have seen it on the Patron exclusive Patron page that I predicted this. And because I have inside knowledge, not sadly, I wish it was the SBG team who were telling me all this secret stuff, but it isn't. But anyway, what do we think of this? Because I know I can't remember who it was who asked me earlier in the stream about this, but I kind of want to know what you think now. Once you've had a bit of time to think about it, because I think it looks really cool. Like, I actually really like the model. I'll be honest, it's probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be high up my painting queue. That's the only problem for me, because it doesn't provide me with anything I haven't already got that's going to be useful in games. So I have got some ring wraiths, and the ring wraiths are the current ring wraiths are pretty cool. I quite like that, but I'm not convinced. I just don't know. Did I have the Entmoot live thing on earlier? I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, I'm unconvinced as to whether it is going to really, really pull me in. But I think I would probably get it, because I love the little vignette kind of dioramas they've done before. I particularly like the Death of Gothmog and the Final Fate of the Witch King. I think Final Fate of the Witch King is probably the better of the two, but there are others that are exciting. And I kind of think it's nice that they're doing something different. I guess the problem was that they released it at a time when people hadn't had a sort of major rules update or anything that sort of fundamentally changes the game that a lot of us play for quite some time. I don't know when the Defense of the North was out. It was something probably along for a year ago now, wasn't it? So I wonder whether that's the problem, that we got something cool, but it's been a while since we've had anything that we actually really, really wanted or really changes the game. So yeah, maybe that's the reason. But who knows? It's not. I don't think it's the end of the world. It would be nicer if we had something cool. I actually really like the design of the like the ring wraith. This side, the ring wraith is. I think it's pretty cool. Like, I'm excited for painting that model. I know some people have said something weird about the sort of the cloak underneath his hood, but like, you won't see that. Nobody's going to highlight that grey, are they? Like, that'd be nuts. You just paint it all black. So it doesn't worry me. I just think the amount of detail that's on the horse is a bit scary in terms of whether I'm going to actually be able to finish painting it. But I do like the look of it. I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm happy with it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Let's see where we got to. Chris Baird says it's meh. Yeah, I mean, would it be meh if it was that and loads of other cool stuff, or would it just be, oh yeah, cool, that's a cool part of the release? Maybe that's why people are a bit annoyed by it. Not bad as a diorama, but not enough for the live reveal. Yeah, I think that's the main thing, isn't it? Is that we just wanted a bit more. They just should have taken us off. They should have just not had SBG on the Warhammer Fest live preview show. Because if that's all they were going to release, they just shouldn't have bothered. Or at least had something to say. I know they're tied up in contractual obligations for various this, that, and the others. But still, it's not. Yeah, I get it. I was disappointed to correctly predict it was the only thing announced. Oh, yeah. If you predicted that would be frustrating. For the reveal, it's not for me, and I was hoping for more to be unveiled. But I agree with what Mike Haskell said on the podcast. It'll please some others. So cool. Yeah, and I mentioned this in my in last episode of Entmoot. I put something along the lines. I think Michael said something along the lines of he likes the pace of releases at the moment, and therefore he will be happy to accept the sort of the run of things, even though it's not his favorite thing. But I'm pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. Right. Okay. So let's just where we go. We've got another comment. Where is it? There it is. Right. I think we got a bit spoilt by the last reveal with all the new sets, and I think it set an expectation for the next one. Well, I know a lot of people didn't really like the Osgiliath release. So I don't know whether that's the reason. Not for me, anyway. But we did get loads of new stuff. I guess it depends on how new you are to the game. Because the last reveal was a load of the Osgiliath stuff, and maybe a couple more Defense of the North things. Maybe the Emperor. Was it? I don't know. It feels like ages ago now, but yeah, I can understand that. Where God, the comments keep moving around. I can see what Steve's talking about when he does this on the Friday nights. Callum says, "Love the model, but hated how quickly they brushed past MESBG. They had a huge audience at the event. They could have tried to sell the game to, even if there were no extra reveals." Yeah. I think that's it. They could have even just gone, well, look at all these things that we've just done. And then at least we could say, hey, look, they put some cool stuff in front of a big audience, even if us, the ultra super uber mega fans, weren't happy about it. It's fine, looks a bit awkward. I won't get it. Meh. Yeah, it depends on how much it costs. I think if it's stupidly expensive, then I probably won't get it. But if it's sort of 40, 50 quid, I mean, that sounds quite a lot, doesn't it? But 40 quid, maybe I'd probably go for it. I'm certainly not going to get that Amon head. That was just such a misfire. I don't understand why they would have done that. Feels like a leftover quest thing, like the statue head. Funny you mention it. COVID plus flood delays. Yeah, sure. This month, last year for the Defense of the North. Yeah, God, it was a year ago now. Gosh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, all these reasons. Chris Baird says it was a mistake to advertise an MESB stream. If that's all they had to show, put it in a community blog. Yeah, I agree. It's a nice piece, but I feel they could have announced it in a community post when they get everyone excited. It seems like everyone agrees on this. Had they delayed the head, it would have been a better reveal with two things. I don't think so. I really think the head was such a bad idea. I mean, it looks really detailed, but it's just such a misfire. I can't imagine why anyone would get that rather than buying some of the many 3D printed ones that you can get. And, I'm usually a bit of an advocate against 3D printing and getting the GW stuff, but that's just such a waste of resin. Like it's probably going to be like 40 quid or something stupid like that. I'm just not interested in it. Yeah. It's really not for me, the diorama, but it looks really nice. And for certain painters collectors, I think it's great. Said there is more to come. So let's see. Just happy to see more content. Yeah, fair enough. For the Osgiliath box, it wasn't that I didn't like it. It was simply that I didn't need anything from it. Great starter for new players, though. 2 armies in a box. Yeah, that's good. And they actually worked this time. You could just put them on the table and they would work. Kind of feel like an honest look. There's been a COVID delay, etc. We don't have one thing at the moment. Would have been better, more positive feedback. Yeah, I guess so. Right. Well, that's some of the thoughts, but we do have other people waiting in the wings. They've been patient. They've been excited. We're building them up. It's going to be brilliant. They're going to be coming out of the woodwork any second. It's about. What are you doing? Hi.
Thanks for that. Really fantastic intro. I didn't even know. You didn't even say I was joined. Did you say?
No, I wasn't sure you'd actually.
I could have been naked. That was such a dangerous thing to do.
No,
a lot. So.
No, the thing is, I can see there was a little screen at the bottom left corner, which I could see you Yeah, so if you'd been touching yourself or anything, then I would have known.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a very strategically placed table,
So we have no idea where you're
crafty. That's the
actually
problem.
wearing clothes or not.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The comments are going absolutely wild about Battle Camper Alex Temple joining in.
It's basically just Frederick, just like, all right.
Yeah, he is trolling. And Key the dog is wandering behind you as well. So yeah. There she is. There is the dog. And also, I like your microphone. Is it changing color or is it just my imagination?
Yeah, no, it's changing color. It's very fancy. I'm a professional. So
you are. Well, there you go. Well, welcome along. I thought Oh, there you go.
No, Kiwi, please. Now's really not the time.
already derailing things, Alex.
She's very excited about the diorama, and she wants to make this known.
Well, that's what I'm interested in, actually. Because we'll talk about other bits and bobs once you get settled. But it does look a bit ITV, doesn't it? Says Tom Marshall. As Alex doing the news, it looks very ITV. Dun, 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 dun.
Today.
So, Alex, out of interest, so did you? I think you did comment on one of my comments in the Patron group about the thing. What are your general gist on the exciting new diorama that has divided the world of SVG?
I think so. It's I don't think I've got any novel thoughts to add. It's not for me. But that's just because I just never get around to it. I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy painting it. Maybe I would. I'm just never, ever going to paint it. I think one of the interesting comments I saw was someone said, why don't they leave that kind of thing to Weta? Because, of course, they do dioramas and things. And I think part of it is just that people expect it. Like, so if you contrast it with, say, for example, let's say, what's his face? The elf. The Elven King.
Thranduil.
Thranduil. Yes, I'm a professional. Yeah, like that was diorama-esque. It came with a big base. You slotted out the base, but the primary focus of it was clearly a gaming piece, a really beautiful gaming piece that could fit into this diorama. The same as, I guess, with Thorin the White Oracle.
Yeah,
I know all the names.
In fact, I've got that up on the shelf behind it. If you look right here, you might be able to see it, but you probably won't.
I can't, but I will trust you that it's there.
It is there.
I think its primary focus is it it's a gaming piece. But then at the end of the day,
but hold on, look, Alex, look, you can slot it out. You can slot all four hobbits out on a little boat thing, and you can slot the ring wraith. He'll be good again. I wonder whether many people actually put him in games.
Looks absolutely fantastic.
The what now? Sorry,
the wraith.
Yeah,
honestly, I did think this. I was just like, guys, I know that they won't because the mold is presumably, it's like they're molding the whole thing and they're not doing anything. It's like sell the wraith separately.
Yeah,
sell the whole thing and sell the wraith because it's
nice
so
wraith.
Fantastic. It's so. I mean, I think when they were announcing it, they're saying, they changed it's not really using the normal proportions they use in MESBG. Like if you look at like the plastic wraith that doubles up as the Witch King on horse. Its proportions are slightly different because they wanted to make it longer and creepier. And I think that they've absolutely nailed it. I think it looks amazing.
I think it'll all depend on the cost, won't it? Really, if it's like I said earlier, if it's like £50 for one wraith that you might not use, is that worth it? Perhaps because he's not like the Witch King. He's just a generic wraith. You'll either use him as a kind of minor hero or as one of 9. But if it's more like 25-30 £30, maybe.
I think the other thing is saying I've said before is ever since I was little, it's been one of my less favorite scenes in the film. I find that scene to be a little bit Scooby-Doo. I never really quite understand what the wraith is playing at. I think like if you, in storytelling purposes, obviously the first time you introduce a primary antagonist is a great opportunity to set the bar for their power, to set the challenge. If in The Matrix, if Agent Smith had entered the scene for the very first time and slipped on a banana skin, and then you'd be like, oh, well, Neo doesn't really have his work cut out for him, and the challenge seems a lot less, and all the character development that goes into him eventually having to face and overcome that challenge is quite dramatically diminished. So I always thought it's a strange thing to do to introduce the Wraith for the first time, have him sort of sniff about a bit, and then get distracted by a big bag, and then they get up immediately. And I'm like, I always imagined when they're like, oh shit, we're gonna get to Buckleberry Ferry or whatever it is they say when they get up in that precise scene. If the camera pans over like 6 degrees, presumably the Wraith is still in the background sniffing around after the bag, and I'm just like, what actually happened?
Well, I think it's using dramatic license to cut between that bit. So he launches the bag. And then
how far can you throw a bag of turnips or mushrooms away?
All right, okay. Well, let's say it's 10 meters. Oh,
you think that a hobbit can launch a bag of
a hobbit.
produce
I mean, obviously,
10
I
meters?
could throw a bag of. Okay, let's say it's 5 meters.
That's
Right.
not even that.
I've got
That's
5
a
meters.
meter
You
and a
could throw a
half
bag of turnips.
tops.
That it wasn't like a full bag. It was like a few mushrooms they found off the road. So anyway, he throws it a few meters. He goes like one way, and they use that as an opportunity to run through the bush and cut to 5 minutes later.
If he hears the bag, he'll hear the hobbits running through the bush.
But he's distracted by the mushroom smell. That's what he's going.
Okay,
maybe he gets high on the smell of them.
Isn't he not drawn to the ring? He's drawn to the power of the ring. But then apparently is in that race hierarchy of priorities, we've got ring at the bottom here, and then we've got a small bag of mushrooms here. He's like, right, I know I traveled across Middle Earth to get the ring, but actually I really am in the mood for some mushrooms. That's your hypothesis.
Yeah. Well, no. He obviously doesn't think it's a bag. What he thinks is that the hobbits have moved in the bushes somewhere in the distance. He goes over, saunters over, checks his watch, goes, okay, I could probably check over there. Some sort of noise in the book. Off he goes. And then, he looks around. Meanwhile, the hobbits are scurrying away in the distance. And I think you're missing the edit. There's an edit there where they're launching through the woods, but there's obviously a real thick undergrowth. And so he has to get the horse. And he go, oh, come on, get us back on the horse. And he has to mount the horse a couple of times. And then he's then it obviously by that point they're through the woods and they've got a bit of an advantage. And then obviously we'll almost get chased down a few minutes later. But granted, I agree. I think the only thing is that scene does really set up the kind of the mysterious kind of not magical. I'm trying to think of the word, but anyway, like a magical effect that he has on things. That the ring wraith arrives, and you kind of sense that there's evil, pure evil, that even the bugs are trying to get away. That's what it does really well. So I like that. That has been reflected in some way, shape, or form. And I think what I might do, if it's a reasonable price, I'm probably going to paint it, and I might put it as like a bookend or something like that. Because it'll be nice. That is a lovely. Actually, I must admit that is a lovely idea. If I it's the kind of thing where if I'm ever in Forge World and I'm like, you know what, I don't have anything in my painting queue, and that's the problem. Is that if I reach if that ever happens,
exactly. It's like,
in 50 years when there's not been a release for about 25 years, there may
exactly.
I can see.
It's kind of if I was in that position, I'd be like, absolutely, I'd love the challenge of painting that.
Yeah, fair enough.
And maybe one day I'll get there. I think the thing that bothered me was that people get so conspiratorial about the response about these things. So someone said, a few people have said that the hobbits' faces are off. I'm not going to comment as to whether or not they are. I don't think they are. I think they look great, but fine. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I saw one person, and I cannot tell whether this was like some epic irony or whether this was like dead serious. Maybe they're in chat. Someone who said the reason the faces look like that is because they no longer have the rights to use the actors' faces. And I was just like, for fuck's sake, like, just stop it.
Though, having said now, well, I will slightly push back on your sort of incendiary reaction to that, because when I spoke to
it was you, wasn't it? It was you.
No, I can't remember which one it was. It was someone from the SBG team that they did at one point, or certainly for a long time, they had to get every single character approved by the original actor. But I can't remember whether that's still the case or not. Surely it's not, because imagine if you're like Orlando Bloom and it's been 20 years since you did this thing, and you're sitting there with Katy Perry, you're having a wonderful life, you're married to Katy Perry, you've got 2 kids, all that sort of stuff. And then you get an email through saying, can you approve this miniature?
Katy Perry.
Wow, come on, Alex. Yes, that's like one of the biggest celebrity festivals in Los Angeles. Oh, well, I don't know, ages. They've got kids, so it's been ages. You should listen.
So Orlando Bloom's off the table for me.
Yeah. Sad times. And the Friendship Onion podcast with Don Monaghan and Billy Boyd, the 2 hobbits, they talk about this at length, and they say that that Orlando mentions in the background occasionally, Katie's just walking around saying, and they're like, that's Katy Perry and stuff like that, which is quite funny. But I can't remember what the reason was, but I don't think he's likely to be approving every new elf sculpt. Surely not. But maybe that is the reason.
Got better things to do at this time.
You'd like to think so, yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, look, the thing is, sometimes GW absolutely 100% nail the faces. Other times they don't. It's nothing new. It's and so like some of them they don't look as good as some of the other Hobbits have done. But
half the battle is the paint job as well. I mean, I've seen some fantastic paint jobs for models that didn't look very good or didn't look very like the original character. I mean, like Arwen is one that comes up quite a lot. The little handheld the Arwen where she's holding a sword up like that. It's
a tremendous one.
Yeah, it's a big. I think you mean Arwen. Arwen, as in the elf, and the face. I think it's because the face, the face is very flat and kind of smooth, and so people are able to do like the makeup and stuff like that on her face, which makes it look very much like Liv Tyler.
See, I think I know exactly which paint job you're referring to. If you're referring to one that was posted in GBHL about a week ago, and it absolutely blew me away. Someone had utterly fucking nailed that model.
There's been, I don't know whether it's the same one, but there's been a few over the. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know what the YouTube will do. But yeah, there's a couple that looked really, really good, and I think sometimes these ones they can look a little bit potato faced, and I think there was there was one release was it a year ago or a couple of years ago where people thought it looked rubbish, and then when somebody had done a real paint job on it, it looked really good. So maybe it is just the paint job or the photo or anything like that. So who knows? I'm just going to catch up on the chat for a bit. Because everyone got really excited and we started chatting, and I'll just see what people are saying. But soon I want to talk about you because you're on a big table. And there is a reason for that, and you've even got a hobbycraft bag. So we'll talk about that in a second.
All right. Well, while you're catching up on chat, I'm going to go put my pizza in the oven because I've only just got back home.
Okay. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Alex is no. It's fine. I did. That's why we did wait a little bit of time. So yeah, you carry on. I'll run through the chat. So Frederick says it's the cattle bumper. Not him again, says Chris Baird. Is he bumping cattle at the moment? We troll mice. Is he trolling mice? Etc. Etc. All the bants about Alex arriving. Ooh, which one is Damien and which one is Steve? Ooh, well, I mean, I am in control of the technology, so I guess I'm closest to Steve in that sense. And Alex did just appear and make lots of funny gags. So yeah, maybe it's Alex. Maybe Alex is Damien and I'm Steve. But I am running through the chat, so it's good. Although, and I am struggling to read it at times. But anyway, I was looking forward to Battle Train. Oh yeah, we'll have to talk all about Alex's various ups and downs with his battle camper van. If you don't know who Alex is, by the way, I'm sure you all do, because he's more popular on YouTube than I am. But so you must be watching his as well. Alex does lots of really cool videos about his trips to tournament in a battle camper van. Yes, very good. And he does lots of little camping videos and painting miniatures up mountains and stuff. And I understand there's a very exciting one from the mountains of Scotland coming up very soon. So keep an eye out for that. Yes, says the Durin Show. A famous dog, says, I think it was Sam, wasn't it? Matt Fremantle, looks a lot warmer compared to your last collaboration. Yes, this was one of the things I wanted to talk about at some point. I'm sure we will. In fact, there he is. There he is with a pizza and... no, okay, that's not a pizza box because you're holding it in a very unusual way for a pizza box. And some ketchup. Matt Fremantle, maybe this is the time to do it, to talk about this. Matt Fremantle says it looks a lot warmer compared to your last collaboration. So have you haven't done the second video yet of your excitement in the Scouring of Cheshire, have you?
Sadly not. I'm desperate to do it, but life is kind of getting in the way at the moment. So it's going to be a few weeks yet.
That's fine. But it was pretty chilly. I mean, you've seen some of my videos now, and you put your first video up of the sort of comparing and contrasting your time in the camper van. But it was insanely cold, and reflecting on that, it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, me and Graham obviously had it easier, but even inside the van, I remember saying the night before because we got a call from the campsite, and they said basically don't come. They said if you're going to come in the van. But the roads are inaccessible at the moment, and definitely don't fucking come in a tent. So I put that in chat. Oh, I just broke that. That was good.
What was that?
Knife. Ooh.
Oh dear.
That literally, I just opened this. It just snapped in my hand.
Be very careful reassembling that because it looks like a sharp blade. Also, we can see the board wobbling in the background as I assume Key nibbles on it.
Yeah, she was nibbling it. Yeah.
Let's
try a different knife. Yeah, sorry. What were we saying?
So the campsite called us, and because you put it in the chat that Graham and you were in and invited me into ahead of the camping trip, and basically I asked this sort of slightly stupid question of something along the lines of, did they say I'm not allowed to come in a tent, or did they just say that you didn't want me to come in a tent? Yeah, and they basically said yes, you can come in the tent.
And I mean, the funny thing I found with the whole trip was on Friday night and Saturday morning, you were saying, I'm so excited about sleeping in my tent, so excited about it. Yeah. I think, in some ways, I'm looking forward to this more than I am the tournament.
It's true.
By Saturday morning, you were like, oh my, I don't know whether I can face another night in the tent.
Well, I think it was definitely, the Sunday night was definitely worse. Had I known how bad the Sunday night was going to be, then I would have known, because it was just really windy. The tent kept bowing in the wind and like poking me in the face and flapping and making all these horrible noises. It was horrendous. But if you haven't seen that video, do go and check it out, because I found that quite enjoyable, making that video of my sort of trials and tribulations camping in -10 degrees and playing at a Warhammer tournament. A lot less Warhammer than camping, but hey ho. And Alex, your video was excellent excellent stuff as ever. The battle reports are always top quality stuff, including some interesting intercuts between the driving in the van, painting in the traffic and the snow and all that.
I mean, that video just made itself, to be honest. I loved editing it. And it's that thing where when you get those kind of extreme conditions, the only thing you've got to do is like just make sure you're filming enough. As long as you've got camera rolling, like everything. And it was like every other moment, something bizarre was happening.
Mm-hmm.
We went from the evening and coming out the pub and then having drinks at like -12 and the beer's freezing over. And then I had to come and borrow an Abaddon black paint from you. You were sat in your tent at like 1 o'clock in the morning, a little bit tipsy, freezing, trying to finish the patterns on your Numenorians. And I was trying to get all the base edges done. Then I wake up the next morning, and the first thing that's happening is there's just a robin stood on your tent, it's like you're just making friends with the wildlife. It was just so picturesque. It was unbelievable.
It was like Snow White, me sort of singing in the morning, and all of the birds kind of landing on my hands and stuff like that. It was a delight. Do check that out, and I'm very excited, Alex, for the follow-up video. I'll just finish off while you're pulling cardboard apart. I'll just finish the rest of the bits. So Fat Hobbit Gaming saying, just be worried if the cat turns up. I guess the cat might cause havoc on that table, wouldn't it?
She has done already, but she's out at the moment, so we've got probably a bit of time.
Excellent.
Oh my god! I'm going to shift the dog because she's just going to shred everything in the background of this stream. Sorry.
That's okay. Well, I'll run through the chat. Tom's comment about Alex doing the news looks very ITV. It does, doesn't it? He needs an auto cue, so he can read the script directly up there. That would be ace. Can you guys do more painting in snowstorm streams? I mean, I must say, after having done that that trip, the one of the first things I wanted to do was basically get like a kind of. I had a Google on the internet for fire boxes, like you can do like a camping stove and put it inside a tent, and you can have like a tube that goes out the tent for all the smoke and all that sort of stuff. And it did make me want. I've gone completely down the rabbit hole of watching YouTubers who make like just videos about them camping and setting fires and all that sort of stuff, like nice fires, not like setting fire to the neighbor's bin, that sort of stuff, but actually decent stuff, and it's really cool. So I'm tempted to do that, but I'm very conscious that Alex does a lot of that cool stuff, and I don't want to completely copy him. So when the time is right, I may well do it. The dog just being carried in there. Right, looks less TV, more basement conspiracy theory podcast. Excellent. Yeah, that sounds like Alex to me, Frederick. Alex is rocking the geography teacher on parents' evening look. Very good, Tim. That's good. Harry, that's not a boat. That's a section of forest floor. I I don't know what that was in reference to, but either way, 100% certainly does not float. That was very close to home, Tim, says Matt Hudson. Are you a geography teacher? I don't know. Who knows? Not true to the film. The back half of the horse isn't missing. That's true. Okay, we're on to the reactions to the thingy. History teacher, says Matt. He is Kamal the Eastling, I think, but could be used as a generic wraith. Yeah, he's got to be just a generic wraith. Ring wraiths do suffer several tunnel vision. Oh, severe tunnel vision. Yeah, maybe that's it. Then it went from midday to midnight in 30 seconds. I'm not sure what all this is in reference to. Some of these comments.
I think that's in reference to the fact that your little edit explanation about how the hobbits get away.
Yes.
Slightly by the fact it's like 12 hours pass in the interview.
Yes, it did. To be fair, when they're on the road, it's clearly daylight, and then when they're in the running, it is clearly dark. So clearly a lot of time has happened. Turnips you could throw. Mushrooms are really light. Yeah, I guess. I love a good debate. Yeah, we're having. There you go. See a bit of excitement here, sort of tearing each other apart over whether or not it was a good scene or not. The ring is fine. The ring Ricino's Paris. I don't know what that means. The ring Ricino's Paris. One of my favourite scenes in Fellowship. The ring. Do you know what that means? I have no idea.
I don't know, I'm afraid, James. I wonder whether that's
James, can you explain that? Oh, maybe it's. Okay, honey, he says something else in a sec. That pretty much run right into a horse right after that, don't they? It doesn't feel that far off. Yeah, they do kind of. Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe I should have got that as a clip for my game later, which is back, by the way. If you're a patron, an Entmoot Live supporter, and have been over the many years, I used to do a game called "What Do Your Elf Eyes See," which is basically the Krypton Factor game, and we'll do that a bit later. Emma Marshall says, questionable subject. With a monkey with a hand over its face. As only one new release announced, and not even a show of previous bits, do we think that there's going to be a release of Rings of Power models when season 2 is announced? Ooh, it's an interesting prediction. I kind of think I still harbour a little bit of hope that they will do some Rings of Power stuff. I don't know though. It's just too hard to tell at this point. I'd love them to do something. I know some people have said actually that they don't like the Rings of Power. They don't want it. They don't want it to muddy the waters between the sort of Peter Jackson universe and the new one. I'd be relaxed if they did it. I'd be quite. I'm all game for more stuff. So James Wilson says, okay, yeah. So this is the autocorrect must have screwed him over in the previous comment. He says, Ring Wraith scene is one of my favourite bits in Fellowship. The fact everything goes completely quiet before it appears on screen and all the creatures flee. It just sells the evil presence they have. You see, I totally agree. There you go. Tom Marshall says, BBC versus ITV, sponsored by Hobbycraft. Excellent. Yeah, that seems about right. The worst face has to be Theodred. Awful. Yeah, but to be fair, the only scene we see Theodred in, he's dead or nearly dead on the
that model
floor.
Is still complete wank, to be honest.
You said it, not I. Fair enough, though. Post-Teen Spirit. This is Sam Hoodie says, is his van okay? Alex, is your van okay? I saw a post of it being towed a week or so ago, and someone earlier said, I was looking forward to Battle Train in the future. Can we get the exclusive, Entmoot exclusive over, is the Battle Camper okay?
Battle Camper, they say it's okay. The people who fixed it, I mean, obviously they would say that, but I went for a short drive over to Hobbycraft earlier today.
Right.
And it did smell quite a lot like it was about to set on fire.
Oh dear.
What was
it that went wrong?
So a bearing on a rear near side wheel exploded and took the 2 discs with it. And they caused so much friction, they melted the ABS sensor. Oh, so God. It was a bit catastrophic.
Yeah, that does sound catastrophic. Not ideal. Yeah. Melting brakes and the fluids and all that sort of stuff. So,
certainly. Dog. It's got a squeaky snake.
You know what they say? You should never work with children or animals. And...
No. Yeah. She never plays with it. She never plays with this, but she's chosen this exact moment to play with the squeaky snake.
Anyway, so the camper is back in action, but maybe limping rather than sort of sprinting to its next destination.
We'll see. I need to email them and see if it's a cause for concern or whether it's just the disc being worn in. I don't know anything about cars, so
yeah.
I
part of me just instinctively knew that about you, Alex. I don't know why.
Not that I take offense to that.
Yeah, not that I'm the kind of guy who knows much about cars either. But anyway, so let's carry on with the comments. Such a sharp knife that it even cut itself. Yes, that is your knife there. Loved it. I'm not quite sure. Oh, wait, was that the video? I don't know whether you're talking about that, but anyway, thanks very much, Mitchell. It was Mitchell, wasn't it? Ali and Han Nichols have joined in. I don't know which that is, Ali or Han, but either way, congratulations on your wedding. By the look of it in the display picture. Glad to tune in. A little late, but the little. Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. Sorry, there's another bit here. But the little one has now gone to bed. So welcome, Ali and Han Nichols. Which one is it? And are you doing hobby this evening? Let me know. I'd love to know. Dan Scott says we need a history teacher MESBG group. Maybe there's a few of you. You should all get together and talk history and SBG at one time. That'd be good. Quite cool says, I've got the flocking done. Should I wait for the scenic cement to dry and solid up before putting some grass tufts and flowers on them? Now, I've never used scenic cement, but what I usually do is I just wait until you're able to dry brush something on it. And if you can dry brush something on it without it sort of smudging all of the flock or anything else, then just go for it. Stick whatever you want on. But it's probably always better to take patience with these things, because the last thing you want to do is put glue on and it all just to go terribly wrong. But anyway, Matt Hudson, I doubt anyone wants that unless they're purposefully getting rid of us. More dog content, please. Yes, the squeaking is quite good. I must admit, I'm enjoying that. What happened was predictive text took over my comment. Stupid ducking thing. I see what you did there, James. Very good. Tim says, we either need controversy or stripping, to be honest. More Alex slagging Theodenov and other models. Yes. Thanks. I'm sure Alex will have more controversial opinions coming soon. Incoming video of camping at Hobbycraft. By the looks of it, based on the sound of the van, it might require Alex having to just walk to various different places and do videos there. Ooh, new video idea: battle pedestrian. Well, Alex's videos are already pedestrian, so
it is on.
You know, I don't think that. Right?
Do I?
That's well, you know, I did do a very fawning introduction in my previous video to yours, so
you did.
It was very fawning. So JMac says he's back. His net died. JMac has been. He was in earlier on, and then he's rejoined. So welcome back, JMac's Armies of Middle Earth. And someone's suggesting battle bike, and also managed to finally prime my models for imps. I'm the slowest painter ever. I don't think you are. There's plenty of people take time with painting.
I'll give you a run for money. No.
Yeah, and I know I saw one of your videos. It was must have been the canal painting one. You took forever to paint the one model, but you did choose to do non-metallic metals, so you do take a bit of time. Is that just because you're overly ambitious, or?
I feel like I'm still working on non-metallics. Like my whole elf army is non-metallics.
Well, you did quite well on it. I think it's good. You've got a big army built.
Thank you. Yeah, it took so many hours, but and I'm not saying I'll always do non-metallics. Like, I mean, I said in my video, I know for well they don't look as good as if I just put some Retributor armor on and washed them and highlighted them. But it's something I really want to be able to do, and the only way I'm going to be able to do that is just like by really putting in the hours, to get into practice in. So. Yeah. Fair
enough. Well, you're talking about your non-metallic metals. I'll jump into the chat again later on, but because I wanted to ask about what you've got your pizza down now, so I wanted to ask what you're doing. But instead of asking you, I'll let you eat your pizza and explain what I've been working on the last few days, because I actually want some advice from the chat. So hold your thoughts about whatever it is you're commenting on at the moment, and prepare for giving me advice. And Alex can also give me advice because he has probably help on this. But I have been working on this. Actually, now I think about it, did I check whether there's audio on this? I don't know. You might hear me and my fiance talking in the background of this this next video. Oh, yeah. Look at that. it's very slow motion. This is my new Elrond model, and I've done the but this is what I've done. And I don't know what absolutely gash. But this is what I've been working on for the last thing. So I've finally done my Elrond for my last Alliance army. I'm pretty happy with the tufts. The tuft is nice, and the face looks okay. I'm pretty happy with it. But the lighting isn't ideal, and I think the camera doesn't do me any favors. But basically, what I wanted to ask people is, have you ever used Elrond? Because I've never used Elrond before in a game, and I've played against him a fair few times, so I'd quite like your top tips for Elrond. How do you use? I'm going to be taking him to the Warhammer World Team Champion this weekend, alongside some guys from Scotland.
Harry, just FYI, whenever you play the video, we can't hear you anymore.
Can you not hear me now?
Oh, I can now, actually.
Yeah, I just pressed the mute button. It's okay. I unmuted. So that's what I'm wanting comments on, because I've got some of the Scottish guys. We've got 8 people, so 2 Scottish teams heading to Warhammer World this weekend, and I'm on one of them, and I can't remember the exact combination of who, but Jeremy Wong's on there. He's the captain. Owen I think Alex, you played Owen not that long ago at the Grand Prix. He had a Rohan army. You had a sort of.
That's right. I
had off. You both had Rohan, didn't you?
We did. I can't remember. That was my first, because in one of those mirror matches, they were both reasonably close. I lost both. But one of them was less reasonably close than the other one was. So I can't remember which one he was.
I think Callum Edens was the one who probably did better against you than.
That's right. That was my second.
Callum, he's a known a good player, basically. So before the comments start streaming in about how good or bad Elrond is, if you have any good advice, please let me know. Alex, you've used Elrond. You used him for the first time at the last tournament you were at. I'm conscious you're still chewing, so keep chewing. And I believe from memory you had Elrond and a few Rivendell Knights plus Galadriel and a Warband of Lothlorien or something along those lines. But I'm intrigued. How do I get the best out of my Elrond, considering he is in a Last Alliance army, which will have a Isildur in the ring, which is pretty cool, and a captain as well, and lots of Numenoids.
So I'm a little bit concerned that my army was so different to yours. He probably fits quite a different role, because he was maybe. And his knights were my only hammer.
Yeah.
I had Galadriel, as you say, and then most of the points were sunk into her Gladrim.
Yeah.
And then I had Gildor and his exiles, 8 of his exiles. And so obviously none of them had much hitting power. And so Elrond and his knights were my big hammer. And frankly, I wouldn't have taken Elrond. I would have taken what's his face. But I needed Elrond to escape the bow limit on the knights.
Yes. Oh, you wanted Gilgalad, did you? Is that what it is? That right? Or
yeah.
Because he's got a lot more killing power, hasn't he?
Exactly. He's and a little bit more speed.
Oh, do you mean Glorfindel? Oh, well, either or, they're both. There's always chaos when you come on the skirts.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, obviously, one of the things that I was genuinely surprised about. I kind of thought that his foresight points would be a bit of a novelty.
Yeah.
But actually, they were absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I think the one bit of learning I had to do, and perhaps this is already common knowledge amongst sensible, reasonable people, but was learning when to spend those points. Because I remember one game, I threw like 4 points to win one important move I really, really wanted. But he also had might on the table at that time, and all of his warriors were quite close together. So it just kind of came down to a move off anyway. It didn't really make much difference because he called, and then I had to counter call. And so it was no difference if I just called and then he counter called. Whereas
that's a fair point. Yeah, you want to exhaust their might first, or something like that. Yeah, it's good for the late game, I guess.
Good for the late game, or if they're very spread out, and if they've not been very careful to make sure they've always got a hero within a move. Or there was one game where I just spotted that a move they'd sort of blocked themselves in. A move wasn't really going to help them, and so I think it was just about making sure that you were actually going to, priority was actually what you wanted and not just chuck the mindset move off. But yeah, certainly late game. So in that Ruffians game, it didn't really come out because my camera cut out by that point. But at the end of the game, I'd rolled a 6 on my foresight points. And we kept on drawing the roll, and I kept on just spending a single point. I think like 3 turns in a row, I managed to just spend like 1 or 2 points and just constantly get the priority, constantly get the charges. And obviously, he doesn't have mighty heroes within range of all his 80 odd miniatures, so it's a bit of an anomaly. But it did mean that I was constantly getting the charges in, which was really handy.
That's really interesting because I kind of expect people to mention things like when to use the like the magic and all that sort of stuff. But I guess I hadn't really. Although that's exactly what I was thinking. It was going to be, it'd be nice to have an extra chance at adjusting the priority rolls. But that's interesting to see that it could be, it could be more instrumental than I thought. And while you're chewing another bit of pizza, you keep thinking. I'll have a look at what some of the people have said. Fat Hobbit Gaming. I'll come back to your point about the Imps Gaming, the Imps tournament, because I think Alex is coming to that as well, so he'll have some assessment on that as well. Advice: get a bin with tissue for your falling plastic bits. Tested by B-Sime Damien. I'm not quite. Is that in reference to something? I can't remember. But yeah, that's a good point. It is a good point because I was talking about the Elrond earlier, that being a bit fiddly, and it was. And in fact, I broke the. I basically just finished painting. I put the base coat on the Elrond, and then I just snapped the dismount's sword, and it's so flimsy. And I think I dropped the Elrond 2 or 3 times, after that, and it was very frustrating. But anyway, so weird audio. Yes, apologies, it's just a bit weird. Just one of us on our joint login, and too much of a technophobe to work out how to change this. Painting up some pointy ears sentinels, considering colours for the inner cloth. Any thoughts? Ali/Han, I still don't know which one of you it is. The colours for the inner cloth. Tell us what the outer cloth colour is, and then I will help with the other colour. But I always think for sentinels and stuff, I like the leathery kind of dark leather armor, and then like a light green in the underlay. But we'll see. Much weird, not much to hear. Weird. Need more Durin. Yes, more Durin. Not maybe not Elrond. Fair point. Ev says it's looks great. Thank you very much. He's mediocre opponent at rock smashing. Yes, good, rings of power reference. My advice: drop Elrond, get Durin. Lol, love it. Sounds get weird. Yes, no, it works. Yeah, I'm biased, of course. Tom Marshall says looks very good, but also a bit piratey with a missing eye. Is that my model? Yeah, probably. I can't remember. Is it? I tend to do this with my models. Oh yeah, no, you're right. It does look a bit piratey. I think that's just the light, the shade. You see, in this one, it looks a little bit less piratey. But yes, thank you for your pointing it out. It definitely makes me feel better about my paint job, Tom. I really appreciate that. No, I'm joking. But yeah, it's a good point. It's cool though. I'm quite happy with it. I hope they forgot about Wrath of Bruinin. Hope they forget about Wrath of Bruinin and throw down their front line before rushing in with infantry. I think that could be a really cool, because I've got mostly Numenorians and a few elves, but I do think that Wrath of Bruinin could potentially be useful. I just don't. I don't know. Is it? I remember when people said that it was absolutely destroying things. That it was a 6-inch range and all that sort of stuff. And now it's only 3. It's harder for it to obviously be resisted, but it also means that you're doing a lot less damage. So I guess you have to be really very careful when and how and where. But against cavalry, it could be really good. Alex, did you find much use for the Wrath of Bruinin when you were using your Elrond? Did it come off as often as I kind of wanted to by the sounds of things? So
not in every game. It is a little bit circumstantial, but there were some games where it was just absolutely colossal. Yeah. I mean, against Thranduil and his elves, I knocked down basically the entire line and took Thranduil off his elf in like turn 2. She's very excited about it, obviously. Can you please? No, come on. Enough. Thank you. So that was awesome. I'm going to catch up shots. And obviously, he was able to do it. I think he did it twice, 2 turns in a row, and because they were I managed to get second one was I was suspended first 2 wheel first time, then third wheel the second time, and just managed to land a 6 with it. And he managed to get everyone down again. And so that was basically just like 2 turns with me having a huge amount of control. And I actually killed a surprising amount as well. You know, if you clump up and you get 12 miniatures in, which is difficult but not impossible when they're staying really tight, then you might get a couple of kills.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's handy.
Interesting. I'll just mute you while the dog barks. But so Callum's continuing the comments. Elrond's great. The Wrath Power, if timed well, can make a huge difference in combat, but his main use is the foresight points to win the key turns. That's so interesting. Callum's saying exactly the same thing as Alex saying there. However, I prefer Gil-galad for his clean power and King's Guard. Yeah, I mean, I did do some decent work with Gil-galad. I allied Elendil and Gil-galad together at Tournament not so long ago, and that just the killing power on those 2 heroes is amazing. But I think the problem with that is that you put so many of your eggs in those baskets. And if you just have even a couple of turns where they sort of stutter, don't kill as much as they want, or heroic combat goes wrong, or whatever, then your army you kind of need to keep up that kill pressure and kill two or so people per turn, or maybe more, with Elendil and Gil-galad for it to sort of even out the cost that or points cost that you spent on all of those. So interesting. But Alex, it's interesting that you're. You can unmute again now if you want. Yeah, something interesting that Callum has said the same sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that validates me because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just relieved. Someone's not like, that's not how you play. And what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, that's good. Also, Frederick's criticising your choice of eating pizza with ketchup. And I'm not sure about that because pizza comes with tomato sauce already on it, right?
Yeah,
so
I'm just enhancing the tomato.
Just extra tomato, close to putting pineapple on there. Let's not start that debate though. I make a point of ordering Hawaiian. Okay, clearly we are. Make a point of ordering Hawaiian pizza now. If such a big deal is going to be made, the only cure is exposure. Fair enough. Yeah, Frederick Schultz, he's sophisticated, darling. During show, have to be careful because the 3-inch range puts them in close and at risk. So how important is it to go off needing a 4+ and only 3 will? That's the game. Keep 1 for a clutch late game, but do try to do single will cast without making him vulnerable. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Thank you so much for those little tidbits of advice there, because I was wondering whether to just go for the sort of Hail Mary once in a game, dump 3 mites, and it's guaranteed you get something high like a 6, a 5 or 6 or something. But maybe 3-4 ups. You could get 2 rather than just the 1, which is exciting. So that's cool. Gaten's joined in. Hello, how are you? Good evening, everyone. Good to catch a live stream after a few difficult months. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you've had difficult months, but I'm glad you're popping in for a bit of an evening. What do you got on the hobby table? That's the big question. Alex is clearly finishing his wagon wheel and then preparing something on his hobby table. So we'll ask about that in a second. And then J-Mac says, forget advice about Elrond. Elves need hammers, full stop. And I must say, those hammer elves, I don't know if you've seen these, Alex, but they are absolutely fantastic. Those hammer elves.
They are fantastic. Almost as good as J-Max converted Balrogs.
Oh, is it a Balrog? Isn't it something? But yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's the
it's Balrogs. It's Balrogs, right?
I don't know. I know he has like a Morgoth, doesn't he? Is that right? Or is it?
I swear he did a bunch of Balrogs.
Maybe he's done both. There's a Morgoth. I'm sure there's a Morgoth
Balrogs
as well.
Was a while ago. Only Trevay fans would know. So.
Yeah, that exactly. Yeah. So I have no idea. I will let you decide on that. But yeah, he's got some really cool stuff. In fact, I'm just trying to see if I can find I've got a video somewhere that I might be able to play, but it's probably not going to work. So it'll be too much faff. Yeah, he's done vids on them. He just says so. Yeah, we'll have a look at some of those things soon. But so I want to know, Alex. We mentioned a couple of times about your exciting table of goodies.
Yeah.
What is going on there? Can you reveal any exciting things?
I can, and I need advice.
Oh, good. We like that.
So, it's my display table it's going to be for my elves, kind of going forward.
Yeah.
But specifically trying to get it done in time for 7 Stones.
Right.
So me and a friend are going to 7 Stones. Our army is first age, Thingol and Durin. sort of the twilight of the Elven Dwarven alliance around the time of the Silmarils. And so our special rule, as everyone doesn't know, 7 times, it's a very fluffy tournament, and you get to you can sort of propose some rules to the TOs that represent your army on the table. And what we've done is we're going to start as green allies, even though elves and dwarves obviously shouldn't be green allies, it should be yellow. But the trade-off is at the beginning of every turn we roll a d6, and on a 1 we become yellow allies, and then we do it keep going, and on another one we become red allies. So it's about it's to represent the fact that it's their waning friendship. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm trying to build.
I love that idea. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really pleased with that. So I'm trying to build a board. It's the first time I've ever done something so ambitious. I'm being super, super ambitious. I want waterfalls. I want ice. I've got water, resin, shaping, texture stuff. I'm doing foam carving. I'm going to make a bridge. I've got the centerpiece is this 3D printed elven throne. And so what I'm going to have is basically a sort of rocky elven woods here. And it's going to have a little bridge over to the throne. And below the bridge is this sort of frozen lake. But behind the throne is another set of cliffs with waterfalls coming down. So the water is in motion. But then as it flows into the pools below, it creates sort of moat around the throne. And it's starting to freeze because the whole thing is like this snowy board, which fits with my Elrond and Knights and whatever, who've all got big snowy bases. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to do.
That sounds amazing. Have you ever done anything? Even I was going to say, have you ever done anything close to that before?
No, not in the slightest. But I mean, if it all goes wrong, at least I've only spent a fuckload of money on it. So,
is it all on the resin? Because is that sort of stuff? Even the installation board is expensive, isn't it?
So this wasn't too bad. This wasn't amazing. So where the cost has actually been is I bought a load of Geek Gaming Scenic stuff. I spent about 70 quid there. And I just went out and spent about 70 quid today. I needed like some sauce and things like that.
Most of the Geek Gaming stuff is just stones and sand and that's it.
It is, but it does also look good. I'm like,
it does look good. It does. I made my own after a while because I kept seeing Zorpazorp looking at it. And then I looked at it in the shop. I thought, oh, that looks quite good. And then I just went outside and got some dust and got some little pebbles and some bits of flock, and it actually worked quite well. So
yeah, if I was just basing my own stuff, then I would. But things like so I got snow static grass, which obviously can't really make myself. I'm such a little noob. I bought sealant spray because last time I tried to make sealant spray, it just didn't function at all.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, to be fair.
I just thought, get that over and done with. A different type of snow for some variety. Anyway, where I need the help is I bought the installation board, the XPS, for the proper foam.
Yeah.
It's the only kind they had, but it's got the foil glued to it.
Yeah, take the foil off.
So how?
With great difficulty. Yeah, just peel it off. You just got to do it. That's the only... Because the problem is, I've done this sort of stuff before. If you peel off the foil on one side, it bends. So it's just annoying, but and it sort of slowly warps because the pressure of the foil on one side bends the whole polystyrene thing. But if you don't take the foil off, it's really difficult to get anything to stick properly to it because you need like PVA doesn't really hold. So I've got a board that I made with that sort of stuff, and I didn't. That is really loud. It's fine. You just muted yourself and then said things as well, which was stupid. But I did that with a board before, and I kind of glued a very thin layer of sand and flocky stuff on it, and it was very fine sand. It wasn't sort of too too sort of rubbly. But the problem was after a while, you start sort of chipping away at it, no matter what. Now, I did layers of super glue, layers of bonding agents and all that sort of stuff. And you just get this shiny surface come through. So at least this way. And also then you can carve directly into the thing. So you can like do depressions into the surface and all that sort of stuff. But don't get me wrong. The act of peeling that stuff off is an absolute nightmare. It takes ages. It's one of the things that puts me off building those kinds of boards, if I'm honest. But it's not. But there's no other foam that's that cheap to do. So,
well, you say that there actually is.
Why don't you get that?
So, well, very good question. So, if it's a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
because it's branded. So actually, there's a few companies that do it, but I thought it was a complete scam. What do you call them? War. They've got war in the name. They do sprays and a wet palette and things like that.
Army Painter.
Army Painter do an XPS foam set, and all it is a box with some XPS foam in it. But of course, it doesn't have the crap on it. So they basically charge you a premium because of the fact they haven't done that. But I just thought it was such a con. I was like, all they've done is got XPS and put it in a box. I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to go down to Wix and I'm going to buy this stuff. But now I'm in the process of that's how you end up being a 32-year-old man spending his Friday night peeling cardboard off some foam. So that's the problem. That's the trade.
It is a pain, and what I found when I was peeling it off, you'll inevitably get little dimples where your fingers gone to try and get underneath the tape, and then you've got little. But just use it as part of the thing. But I've never made a full board out of it, and you're going to cover it with stuff anyway, so it'll just add to the texture. But yeah, it is a faff. I'd recommend just sitting in front of a telly at some point and just peeling all of the foil off your phone. But once you've done it,
if only there was a good podcast I could listen to while I was.
If only, yeah, I have released one this week, but that's not the same. The Durin show is out. The Durin show has been in the. Is in the chat. So so that's what I'd recommend. If you've got, obviously people in the chat will probably be commenting with ideas as well. So get your comments in, because I can't remember who it was. Someone was saying they were building a board earlier as well, asking for advice on their stuff. So I'll run through the chat while you rip some more bits of foil off and see what happens. Carry on with the L1 comments a bit. Callum says the other thing with L1 is the Wrath is really 2 inches, as he has to stop an inch away before charging in. Well, yes, I suppose, but I guess if somebody's been charged, you can be very close to them, because you don't have to be. You can be in their control zone and stuff, so that's fine. But yeah, good shout. I've got 2 converted ones. Yeah, 2. So J-Max says he got 2 converted Balrogs and a Morgoth. Yeah, they are cool. I just saw them in one of the blogs. They're
very cool.
Yeah, they're just, I think I need to check which one there is, but J-Max says there are vids on them. Check out J-Max Armies of Middle-earth. The videos are very, very funny, and actually a lot of them have good content in them as well as being comedic. So well worth checking out. It's true. I mean,
it's like, and some of them, they're very funny, and some of them, they've even got good content. They're not just shit. They're actually there's nuggets. You've got to go sifting. You do have to go sifting, but occasionally, you'll find a nugget of gold.
I did not mean it in that way. I meant that they're hilarious, and if they are actually very rewarding, well thought out SBG historical things. In particular, I really liked some of the early ones about the sort of the dwarven armies and the elven armies from the first age, because John, who runs the channel, knows an awful lot about the first age, and I have absolutely no idea about any of it, and it was really interesting. So check that out.
John says they are just shit.
They are. I mean, there's some great comedy moments. I mean, that's what I mean. I think I know them for the comedy and really do laugh out loud. Like there was one video where he ate an old Snicker bar. Was it Snickers or something like that? Whisper. Was it a Whisper?
It was a Whisper. It was like a 13-year-old Whisper.
Yeah, it was really old.
Yeah, that was quite excellent. Well, I mean, I went and visited John on the way up to the Hebrides this year, and within, I don't know, John, was it? I don't know. It can't be more than an hour before you had your shirt off in the garden, and we were using the drone to film this big reveal shot of you just sprawled out into the garden. I hope this isn't spoilers when this video finally comes out. And I remember at that point, just my head just been like, I knew it would come to this. Somehow, I just knew that sooner or later, this is exactly what it was going to come to.
And that's exactly what you could have hoped for.
It's the only reason I went. That's why I went.
Excellent. Let's catch up with more. Need to finish my guy here, says Gaten. We're not sure I'll paint tonight. Just nice to sit and relax and enjoy hobby discussion. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you're relaxing. Which guy hair is it? Is it the made to order one, or is it the one we were discussing earlier, the kind of fancy one that's killing a hunter orc? I'd be intrigued to know, Gaten. Because of dragons, there are indeed Balrogs. Excellent. They are nice. Emma Marshall says, I was completely okay with background barking. Definitely got the cats interested in the live. Excellent. we're all about pulling in new viewers, so that's great.
Can I before the conversation moves on? Sorry, can I mention? You've just twigged a little bugbear of mine that in relation to Guahir, and I'm really intrigued to see if anyone else has this as well. One of my pet hates is dead or dying opponents, other models on a base. I can't stand it. I've just bought a regular plastic eagle to make out Guahir into, because it's just never. Games Workshop does it in all their games. They do it in 40k and Sigma and Middle Earth, much less Middle Earth than other things, thankfully. I've never ever looked at a model where it's got like a dead whatever on the base and thought, yes, that improves that model. It's always a distraction. It always detracts from it, and it makes it so much harder for you to like make it a part of your own army. So the Guahir, the only way I'd ever get the Fortwood Guahir is if I could disentangle it from the Warg and the Orc and make it.
I don't think that's possible, is it?
I've looked, and it would be very, very difficult because the Orc it's like there's 3 connection points. One of them is like Guahir's tail. One of them is one of the feet on the Warg, and another one is like another foot on the Orc itself. So it would be extremely difficult. Yeah,
I know what you mean. It's a really nice diorama. But as a model, it can be a bit distracting. I can get on board with that. What do you think in the chat? Let me know. Emma was saying about background barking, and then we got to Durin saying yes, talking about the Durin show. Alex gets credit for Durin. Great theme too. Haha. Yeah. I mean, I did. I think Alex, you've got a great theme there. I'm excited to see more content about that. I love a bit of content. I just used Durin again, actually, and I did really enjoy bringing him back out of the cupboard. I must say I did very poorly with him, but hey ho, you'll do much better, Alex, I'm sure, because yours is probably a better army, maybe, or certainly a Green Alliance.
I highly doubt it. I mean, 7 stones, it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah, yeah. No point in worrying about it. Another one, you start chibbing each other. I don't know what J Matt's saying there, but it sounds graphic. So I like it. Where it says, Sam, maybe make the display have a split down the middle to present the breaking alliance. What do you think to that, Alex?
Oh, that is really good. That's some lovely visual storytelling. That is good. I wondered how to.
How are you planning to have them all on the base? Are the dwarves going to be on the mountain and then the elves on the ice or something like that?
Well, no, I was actually going to have. So I was going to have. It was going to be at the start of the alliance, I guess. So I was going to have Durin and
okay, yeah,
and single like at the throne. But God, a split, some way of splitting down the middle of the base. That's lovely. That's just a really nice sort of visual metaphor.
Could you do like a crack in the ice?
Exactly. I think that. So they're not. The ice is only going to be quite a small part of the display. Is the problem.
But even if you did,
even if a bridge over the ice, so that there could be a split. The bridge could be broken.
Yeah,
and the dwarves could be on one side of the bridge, and the elves could be on the other side of the bridge.
That would be that would be lovely visual storytelling. You'd get points for that. You'd definitely get 7 stones points for that. Not that there's points, but you know,
I might do that.
That's cool. It's a great idea, Sam. Thank you.
Yes.
R.I.P. Geek Gaming Scenics. Yeah, Frederick. I saw that video recommended in my YouTubes earlier. I just assumed it was another clickbait thing. Is it actually? And so there was a video that Geek Gaming said was his last ever video. But I haven't clicked on it because it's clickbait, right? It's basically saying, look at me, it's my final video I'm ever going to put up on YouTube.
And you know all about clickbait.
And I sure do. So I was like, no, I'm not going to click on that. And also it was like a Necromunda thing or something like that. And I just saw a moth flying in front of your camera. You've got
it is chaos here.
Yes, forget me being Snow White with the Robin arriving. You've got like dogs, cats, moths flying in. Anyway, so yeah, Frederick, I'm intrigued to know, was it actually the last video he's ever going to do, or is it just a way of getting us to click on his video? Do it on a snowboard, says Farm to Tabletop. You've got to make this while skiing or snowing. That's a good shout. I think
if I can go on a snow trip between now and next Saturday, then yeah, that sounds.
God, yeah, great. You've not left yourself an awful lot of time, have you, for this epic board that you make?
It's going to be fine, probably.
Yeah. Fine, probably. Because in my experience, building display boards, it can be quite a few weeks worth of work. I remember I did the Kirith Ungol, and I think that that basically dominated my time for most evenings for a good 3 or 4 weeks. Well, maybe not that long. Might have been more like 2 or 3. But either way, it did take a long time. Mainly because I was peeling foil off bits of polystyrene for the first 2 days.
So bear in mind, there's a few ways I can make life easier for myself.
Yeah.
My resin pour is
not
super
do it
simple.
is number one, but yeah.
That is actually number one. my resin pour is super simple because I'm just using UV resin. That what makes it more complicated is it looks so. I know it's complicated, but it does look amazing. As I watched a video, it wasn't a wargaming channel; it was just a dioramas channel, and this guy did a snowy waterfall. And what he did was, so he used like water shaping stuff to do the waterfall. It looks amazing, and then it had flowing water out about 6 inches from the waterfall, and he, obviously used the water shaping stuff. I can't know what it's called. I've got some around here somewhere to make the waves and stuff. And then he mixed white paint with some other resin and let that set separately on a flat surface. So it was just very thin sheet, very, very thin sheets put on greaseproof paper. And then when he came back, laid this now sort of quite white, creamy resin, that's not a great way of putting it, on top of the water. So it looked like the ice sheet was forming away from the waterfall, where the movement of the water had broken the ice near the waterfall, and then it had frozen away from
that. Sounds really cool.
Looks absolutely incredible. So if I could pull it off, I just think it'd be amazing. And this is an elven throne, and so I want it to be a bit magic-y, a bit special. The idea of they're surrounded. He's got a waterfall to his left and to his right. It's creating a full circle around the throne. I just think it's worth trying to.
I mean, I'm picturing something amazing in my head. So I really hope you deliver.
The other thing I'm doing, which I'm quite pleased, is I've also got to make my objective markers, which are 3 Silmarils on little plinths. I've ordered the plinths, but the silly thing is I had to spend like 15 quid because these are like 3D printed statues on little plinths. And then like 2/3 of the miniature is in the statue. And I just need to clip that off and throw that away. All I want is the little sort of block of resin at the bottom. So a bit of a waste of money, but there you go.
It's all for the hobby. It's all good. All for the content. Tom Marshall says, it's not dead. Luke just wants to do something else about this show. So there you go. And you might get more foam. And you might get foam that's more difficult to get otherwise. I'm not sure where the first half of that sentence is, Frederick, but thank you. Mark says, ASMR terrain building, ? Yeah, we could do that. Just lots of ripping of foil. That's it's not that.
You have to get your ASMR voice right, though.
Yeah, you have to be.
So I'm going to now just very slowly peel the foil from the foam. Yeah, here we go. Get your finger under there, and there we go. Here we go.
Yes, this is very sensual. Actually, that was pretty good. That was actually pretty good. That was a great, satisfying sound. Actually, we've built an empire here that we can build on. JMac, Brexit ruined pink foam. There you go. We've already got into politics, so there you go. I mean, as the BBC side of the things, I can't comment, and obviously Alex is on the ITV side of things, so he's pretty much the same as well. So, well, yeah, you're the ITV table, but yeah, interesting. Did Brexit ruin? I guess that could you get it from the EU before then? I guess I don't know. I mean, I always take. I'm always happy to dive into some politics. It's going to lose me all my subscribers, but I actually just don't know what he's talking about. So I'm going to just fair enough. Let's move on. Frederick says, got a huge block of foam for free 2 years ago when I walked past a construction site. Yes, I asked them. I'm not a thief. Yeah, that's, to be fair, that is probably the way. I used to get the odd bit by doing that, but you did also get a lot of sort of smudges of crap on it. So it's not always that easy. But and you have to actually. If I just punched through my wall, then I could have just gotten some out of the. I mean, I'm surrounded. It's like being in a gingerbread house and complaining about going hungry. I'm surrounded by insulation foam. That is true. Yeah, just downgrade your EFC rating or whatever to an F, and then take your stuff out of the loft. You're golden. Yeah. Tom Marshall says, I just used the basic white packing polystyrene, got a load of it through work, slapped some cheap filler on, and it's perfectly usable. Yeah, that's the one that creates the little bubbles in the expanded polystyrene stuff, and it is good, but it's not as strong and stable. And to use another political reference, right? Or
But I mean, but Tom does know what he's doing. I mean, Tom, you obviously made those dioramas out of the big volcano toys. Toys is probably the wrong word for it, but the sort of the plastic volcanoes as well looked absolutely incredible. So yeah, it's obviously can make it work.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Maybe if you base it with some decent wood and all that sort, you can kind of ignore that. And actually, with a display board, it's you're probably okay using sort of cheap polystyrene rather than the expensive stuff, because it's a smaller bit. But if you're doing a big board, because when I used it, I did a 4x4, literally a 4x4 board in one whole thing, so that you could use it. So. Anyway, Duran says, thanks for the nod. More episodes are coming, I promise. Haha. I'm sure they are. I know what it's like recording podcasts, so I'm always eager to hear the next one when it comes along. J-Max Armies of Middle-earth admits they are just shit videos, yes, and he did just do a first stage one. Excellent. Sam says, I'm building one at the weekend onwards. However, I have no idea what I'm doing, so don't know what advice I can offer. Maybe don't be afraid to compromise. I feel that I'll do a lot of it. That's probably good advice, actually. I was thinking of trying to find my picture of my board that I did a while ago for my ring race, but I have absolutely no idea where it would be. I probably do have it somewhere, but it's just gonna, while I'm digging around on it, you'd have to talk for a long time. But I did do one of the sort of the moment where the ring wraiths are washed away at the river by the fords of whatever it's called. So I did that. Sorry,
Bruinen.
Yes, that's Fords of the Bruinen. Thank you.
We were talking about it for like half an hour earlier.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. That I just couldn't remember exactly what the word was. Well, mainly because I'm trying to say things and also look through the pictures. But I do have it somewhere. But
isn't that your whole job?
What talk?
Say things while looking at pictures.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that it just shows how good I am at my job, I guess. But yeah, no, it's just I'm trying to. I wish I had it somewhere, but I don't know whether I will. Anyway, yeah, because I found it quite. I basically went with a very basic thing. I didn't do all the mountains and all that sort of stuff. It was literally just a sort of river with some stones in it, some resin, and all that sort of stuff. I found it quite satisfying making the frame around it for the polystyrene. That was
I think there's a lot in here that I'm going to find really satisfying. I'm doing this a lot. It's not just for the display. I'm doing it for me. You know, I've wanted to do
of course,
such a long time, and I think the idea of doing all this, the scatter, the flocking it just looks extremely satisfying.
Having watched, go on.
Look at this sheet. I'm getting off here in one go. This is satisfaction. This is the textbook definition of satisfaction. Just one. Oh no, it's ripping. It's ripping.
Yeah, that's the problem. I was going to say I didn't want to do it, but I remember it's like, I don't know whether you did this at primary school, but if you ever got a primary school, you had pots of PVA glue and like you put them on your hand or you put them on the table and you try and peel it off in one big sheet. I don't know whether that's something that kids these days do or whether they're sort of banned from it for some health and safety reasons. Or something,
childhood, clearly.
Yeah. Anyway, so Agrax shower is an all-time great J-Mac moment. Yeah, I saw that one recently. That is quite a concerning image that I've just been reminded about. So thanks for that, Chris. Sean Sproul. Oh, Sean's out. Hey, Sean. How are you doing? Sean is one of the team members. Well, actually, he's not on my team, but he's one of the two teams that I'm joining in with over the course of the Warhammer World Team Championships this weekend, which I'm very excited about. And I can't remember what Sean's army is going to be, actually, but I'm sure it's... Oh, yes. No, it was... Oh, it's some weird stuff. What was it? It was big heroes in some way. Oh yeah, the trolls. That was right. It was the 3 trolls and something else. And I can't remember what it was, but it's gonna be cool. And I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing how the trolls do, because those 3 trolls are pretty cool. I've not really thought about them very much, but when you put them on the tabletop, it's like, oh yeah, okay, these are 3 big trolls, and they've all got slightly janky special rules that are a little bit sort of discombobulating when you first see them. So. Interesting. Chris, thanks for joining in, Sean. I'm guessing you're with everyone else. So hello to all of you guys if you're watching together. And Chris, he needs more liberal use of fart sounds, though. Yeah, I don't think there's enough fart sounds in J-Mac's Armies of Middle-earth. Big XD there, Finn. The Forge-World one, Gwai here is actually finished, but need to paint the Warg/Orc on the base. There you go. So Gertin earlier, who were talking about the base, he didn't like that. J-Mac also hates dead models. They covered my Mummock base. Yeah, that's fair. Like the annoying Rohan dude holding the Uruk. Yeah, that is the worst. That is the worst one. He's chopping the captain's head off or something, isn't it? Oh, that is annoying. But the thing is, I like those models. I like looking at them. But and I think they're really nice to paint. But yeah, it's when you see them on the tabletop, it really gets on my nerves. I can understand where you're coming from there.
I mean, I even found. I think this is probably. I think I'm much more anal about this than other people are. The new Asciliath heroes.
With the wood, where they're hopping over the logs and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I want the miniature to stand on its own merits, so that it can blend in with whatever terrain is around it. I hate it when they carry big blocks of like terrain around with them, and that again, 40k is really bad for that. There's a lot of models where there's something on the base that ties it specifically into a particular board. For example, like it's got like city terrain or something like that. Or ruined whatever at its feet, and it's just like no, I just think I want the miniature, and I always want the base to be quite unassuming. I don't like some people, they go all out with like big cork bases, and it adds like 2 inches to the miniature, and it's standing on like I don't know, it's got a bunch of skulls and it's got like the rocks and it's got some lava and stuff. I'm like, actually, I just think it makes it look weird on the tabletop. Like as a display piece, great, but as a game piece, not my thing.
Yeah, a fair point. Well argued, well reasoned. I shall move.
That's like a stop saying it. Like,
stop talking about the dead models. It's fine.
No one mentioned anything about bases, because otherwise Alex is going to say again how much he doesn't like things on.
No, no. You know what? It's interesting though. I remember someone. Someone went even further than you did, and they I can't remember who it is. Maybe they're in the stream. Maybe I'm going to really criticize them in a second. But they did something like, I hate the fact that people like models have like a big circular disc on the bottom of their feet that's like, so they're sort of wobbling along like the army men in Toy Story, and they said that it completely ruins their thing. So they decided to put them on these see-through, these transparent discs. And I think it is quite common in some gaming systems that you're having these discs, but when I look at them, and the same with the flying bases, I look at those things and all I see is a really weird space age plastic. It doesn't look invisible, like you can see it. No. So those things are really, and I think it looks almost more distracting than I think in terms of our based ideology is actually very compatible. It's good. I mean, if we were going to form a political party based entirely on wargaming based politics, I think would be pretty in sync. So that's what I did with my. So obviously that came with. That is really, just so you know, that is really, really far away. I cannot see anything on that. I don't know whether
the point is I replaced the plastic see-through clear flying bases with solid bases with some terrain on to tie them into the rest of the course.
Yeah. And I did the same with my ring raids. I did. I actually mounted them on a statue, a generic statue, because I just hate the thing so much. But and also it stopped it spinning around and it made it less likely to break and all that sort of stuff. So I'm with you. Totally agree. Thanks, because of Dragons, for bringing up the bases again. Mac Racing says Harry's right. My scouring display board curved because I didn't take the foil off. So Steve McDonald there. Yeah. So he's backing the tearing of the thingy foil. So it's worth your time.
Thank you very much.
It's worth your time. What are your guys' thoughts on the new diorama piece shown at Warhammer Fest? John, you missed our chat about that earlier. You must have. I don't know when you joined in, Jonathan, but our general perspective was, I think Alex was kind of like, yeah, it's fine, but I'm never going to get around to painting it, and I'm probably going to buy it. And I'd like to say I'll paint it pretty quickly, but I'd like to display it somewhere. But it didn't really set my loins on fire.
Jonathan, have I ever told you how much I don't like to have too much terrain on bases? Because
that's enough. Duran, the Duran show says, I cover all my base as well. Dead models never fits my basing themes. Yeah, fair point. I think what we're doing is, Alex, we're getting to the bit where we started talking about it and they're commenting on it, which is bringing it back. So that's great.
We're spiral now. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. We're in it, and they're gonna, and then we'll stop, and then they'll get to it again. I mean, after Red Alliance, if you get a 1, you just start attacking each other. Oh yeah, are you going to do that, Alex? If you've got, if you roll a what? So you've done your army, your
so basically we become an entire army of Thrain the Brokens, basically.
Yeah, that would be good. So first one they're green, then they're yellow, then they're red, and then they just
this I would need to know statistically how likely it is that's going to happen in each game.
Well, what is it? 1 in 6 for the first one, then 1 in 36. Then 1 in 2.
It's because it's 1 in 6 each turn. So if a game lasts 30 turns.
Oh yeah, actually it's just 1 in 6 each turn, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's still it must be something like that, isn't it? It doesn't quite compound in the same. Anyway, I don't want to get into maths.
I don't know the maths. I think we keep it. I think the rule is it's themey enough without becoming too cumbersome.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, you don't want to lose all your games.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you dare suggest it to Dominic, Damien, and Tom.
Frederick says he's getting a normal job, and it is indeed his last video. The company will still exist. Not sure about the channel though. Yeah, I don't believe that. Roll off and have the lowest join the enemy team. Yes, I like that. If you get after the Red Alliance thing. Farm to Tabletop Geek Gaming wasn't clickbait. Luke is going to do other stuff. All right, okay, maybe there's more people. Check out Luke Towan, not MESBG, but he does realistic scenery for his model rare and it looks stunning. Yeah, that's exactly what we were just talking about. Luke's gaming. Is it? Hold on. Is Luke Towan the same as Geek Gaming? Isn't it? He is, isn't it? Luke's APS or whatever it is. Is that right?
I don't know, but I tell you what, I do have a soft spot for model railways. I've always had a soft spot for model railways, and some of the terrain they put together is absolutely amazing. It's supposed because as opposed to gaming boards, they're not limited by functionality.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot. Yeah, there's some wonderful, and also just people who just simply do terrain.
Yeah.
There's this one channel, I must admit, it kind of bugs me, and with no disrespect whatsoever to anyone for whom this would appeal, but there's a channel. He does the most incredible terrain. This is the guy who did the waterfall I was talking about. But every video is titled, so like that one is like Winter Waterfall with a Christian message, and there's like 2 10-minute chunks. 2 10-minute chunks at the beginning of the end of terrain building, and then like a 10-minute chunk in the middle, which is a sermon. It's just some sermon. Yeah, and I'm like the problem is if I'm sat down, I'm a lazy. I've the sin of sloth. I'm not getting up to skip through the Christian message, but it is also going to wind me up a bit. Again, without any disrespect to anyone for whom that would appeal, it just doesn't appeal to me. It's married combo.
I was going to say, like, fair enough. If you go to church, fine on a Sunday morning, but putting it in the middle of your Warhammer videos or your gaming videos is.
I wonder whether it was actually because obviously some denominations there's sort of a Christian duty to proselytize and to try and so I wonder whether this guy. I mean, if so, I say credit to that guy. Like imagine you're doing a channel. It's like, oh, it's today I ski off piste and I nearly get crushed by an avalanche with a Christian message. You get like 10 minutes of off piste high intensity skiing. Then you get your sermon. And then you get. I think that'd be an effective way of doing it.
Well, the other thing is, I wonder could the church be sponsoring these videos? Because you do get the church is sponsoring videos in some places. Maybe that's the way he's making his money. Who knows? Interesting. That was a diversion I wasn't expecting, but thanks for the comment, James. Green Tree. Oh, I've heard of Green Tree. You're back in. I know you're often on the B-Sign chat. I don't actually know who you are, Green Tree, but anyway, hello all. Gutted to hear about Luke giving up YouTube. I would never have started building terrain without him and Steve Crow. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? I'm starting to think. I wonder whether I'm missing something. I might watch that video. But you've got to think the guy's been making terrain for years and years now. It must be getting on for nearly a decade, and he started that when he was quite young. It's not. He wasn't like a child or anything, but it was so maybe just get. You don't want to keep doing those videos. And I think, bless him, his videos have been basically become those kind of YouTube channel videos where they are just they're becoming a bit clickbaity, and it's clearly his job now to make clickbait videos. And if that's your job, it's difficult. It's going to be really hard because you know fully well the content you want to make isn't quite the stuff that is going to pull in the tens of thousands of hits you need to keep paying the bills. And I think that's always a really difficult thing. And I know I've spoken to Zorp about this, Lockie about this occasionally, about just how he loves making certain types of videos, and then sometimes those videos don't do as well as he'd like. And it's I'm so glad that I don't rely on my YouTube channel for my life, because it's a killer because I made that camping video knowing full well it could get like 100 views, it could get 1,000 views, it could get 10,000. I just don't know. But at least I made it in the way I wanted to make it because it's my hobby. And I'm glad that some people liked it. So, and I guess that's the same for you, Alex, that you make all of your videos pretty much for yourself, knowing that you might get a few thousand views.
Nope. No, the reason I married up driving across the country to obscure locations with painting toy soldiers is because I was like, this is what brings in the big bucks. I have no illegitimate interest in wargaming whatsoever. I'm just like, I'm in it for the cash.
Yeah, fair point. Well, you might be on that trail for a while, but hey, so to be fair, each of your videos gets something like 5,000 views or something like that, isn't it? So it's
very few of them actually get to 5K. Last few have done pretty well for me. Yeah. They've got that's what pisses me off when I speak with Zorp, or as I think you just called him Zorpy Zorp, which I thought was very cute. He's always like, "Oh mate, my video did shit. It's only got like 50K," and I get it. It's his job. The pressure is on. I'm like, look, if I hit 1,000, I'm there like, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's all relative, isn't it? Because I know, you need to get there are some of my videos that are bringing in the bucks, as in, they pay me like sometimes as much as $1 a month, which is.
What? Do you save it all up, or do you spend it? You spend it as you go?
Well, sadly, I don't get a choice in the matter. YouTube saves it up for me and then pays me every time I hit, I think it's $60. So occasionally, like once every 4 or 5 months, I get like $60, and I'm like, excellent. So I can then revel in, sort of wade around in the cash from YouTube advertising. But I'm sure Zorp is the same in that some of his videos will be paying his wages essentially, and his new one, it's just like, come on, and he just need a new good bump of 50K views to keep the algorithms happy and all that sort of stuff, so that they can keep delivering up some of the old classics as well. So
it must be utterly terrifying. I mean, I watched a streamer for a video game.
Yeah,
I really liked his streams, and he played this game a lot. And then he obviously got a bit bored of the game. Fine, like he'd been playing it like every single day. But the funny thing is, he'd gone from being a complete amateur, just starting new, to this being his full-time job, just playing this one game, and had never really branched out. And he started playing all these other games, and the views literally went from 70,000-80,000 reliably per video to maybe 1,000 or 2,000. And I'm like, not only is he therefore locked into playing that one game, but also if one day the developers of that game turn the servers off, which they will do, one day they will do that. It's like, great, well, that's that. I'll be trying to get back into regular work then now, shall I? Sorry.
I was just going to say, I remember for work, I interviewed a kid who he was probably 13, 14, something like that. And he would have been, he was around 16 or 15, 16, something like that. And he'd been playing this game called Forza, which I'd never heard of as a racing game. And he'd been playing it for 3 years as a teenager. And he'd got to a stage where he was getting like £1,000 a month or something like that. And I did wonder, and he said, oh yeah, I'm going to just do this forever now. And I thought, okay, because he was getting, it was escalating the amount of money he was being paid. But in the end, you think, well, okay, so fair enough. You're playing Forza for a while, and that might be popular for this next year or maybe the next 5 years. And, you've earned $2,000 a month for those few years of your life just playing games. Ace, what a great way to earn a living. But then what kind of qualifications does that leave you with? Like at the end, you're thinking, I'm 16 years old. I've skipped school so that I can play Forza and be paid money for it. And then, well, what are you going to do with your life? Are you going to just play Forza forever? You just can't. I don't know. Anyway, this is a bit of a diversion, but I feel bad for Luke, but equally, you've got to respect the guy for going, you know what? I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. He might just go back to making videos as and when he wants to make them, which actually I think might improve the viewership and B, the quality of the videos, and then he might have a happier life doing something else. Who knows? I wish him well though.
Yeah, I really hope it's a positive move. I mean, I think like so many people in chats, he was like one of the first board gaming content creators I ever watched, and like the stuff that he did. I remember he did this Colosseum board once, and it was pegged as like an ultra realistic. It's like Greek beach something. I don't know what it was.
Yes, I remember that one.
Might as well have just been magic. It might as well have just been magic. I was like, how have you turned just bags of stuff into this?
It's crazy.
It was just incredible.
So good. I actually really like some of his even earlier, like the very, very earliest ones about. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was definitely one where he had a kitchen knife that he heat up and melted plastic with it. And I remember thinking that, and he was like wearing a tank top, and it was all like kind of shot probably on an old digital camera, and it all looked very ropey, but what he was doing was really cool. And I thought, oh yeah, this is good. I like this sort of stuff. And now it's all got the orange and the blue light in the background, and it's got, and he's doing all this to the camera all the time with his hand, and you think, I like the kind of the rustic charm of the sort of original stuff that, that's what people go on YouTube for, isn't it? You go on to see, somebody's dad showing you how to put a wardrobe up, that sort of stuff. That's what I love about YouTube.
No,
well, people do this. They go, how do you put a shelf up? And then they see like some bloke who's been putting shelves up for the last 50 years, and he goes, here I am putting a shelf up. This is how you do it. And then you go, yeah, that's how you do it. And that's exactly what
I think I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I go onto YouTube to watch a man.
No. Okay, sorry. Yeah, maybe I didn't embellish that enough.
It's going to be some earthiness to it, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. I think Luke's earlier stuff, he did that. It was like how to make a whatever it was, and he did it. He had his tank top and he had his sword that he was melting plastic in, and he didn't. And he opened the window, but he didn't have his mask on because otherwise he couldn't talk and stuff like that. All the sort of slight danger. That's what we want in YouTube, I'm sure. That's why people like the me freezing in the tent video, because it's just me freezing in the tent. I mean, that's good.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because there's the invisible stuff. It really pays to get that right. So like your sound technology, like recording your sound, getting like voice technology right. The lighting and the camera work, like you get a really decent camera that's going to get some fantastic, deep and crisp images. That's the kind of thing well, exactly.
Yeah, all the overexposure that I'm facing at the moment.
Anyway,
it turns out it's because I didn't plug my camera in. But
yeah. So behind the camera, that's where you want all the good stuff to be, so that people get a decent image and sound. But in front of the camera, I think you want it to basically be a bonfire, an accidental like skip fire kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I basically pegged my entire career on that. Not my actual. I was
going to say, please don't peg your actual career on that.
My career on hoping that everyone just wants a garbage fire at all times. My YouTube career.
I was going to say, not in your actual career. That would be not an encouraging thought. Anyway, that was a bit of a diversion, but an interesting one. I'm sure we got more on Luke as we go through. Gayton says, my problem is in my head, all display boards are amazing, but from imagination to reality is usually too big a step for me. Yeah, that is one of the most hard things to come to. But I've also found I did this when I was building the Cirith Ungol, and you can see the efforts on the YouTube channel. There were parts during that video where I started making it and I thought, this is going to look awful when I get to the end. And there were so many bits. So I'm like, why have I done this? I've got to paper over the crack, and you've got to kind of work out how to fill the gaps and make up for the mistakes. But actually, it's just like when you're painting a miniature. There's always a bit, like probably 2/3 or maybe 3/4 of the way through, where you look at the miniature you've got in front of you, think, this is almost done, and it looked crap. Why does it look so rubbish? And then you think there's that last bit, that last sort of 10% or last quarter of the work, which really refines it and turns it into something good. And I think that happens a lot with terrain, is that it looks rubbish. Oh yeah, okay, now it's taking shape. It looks rubbish. And then, oh, I finished, and it looks kind of good. So that's the one thing I would say for you, Alex, is that if you're ever thinking this looks a bit rubbish, don't worry, because you can probably cover it with flock or something at the end, and it'll look okay in the end anyway. So don't worry.
That's the thing. It's miniature painting. It's not done until it's done.
No, exactly.
And sometimes, you've got your model painted and based, and just the fact of painting the edge of the base, like doing the Patron around the base, can elevate it so dramatic. Sometimes I'm just like, I've got this. It's grey plastic on the edge, or it's got like paint splatters and stuff. The rest of it's done. It's like it's fine. It's all right. You paint that. It's like, oh my god, it's finally come to life. This
is exactly what I think with this one. Is the one that I was using earlier, is that it looks kind of fine, but when you look at the one with the tufts, it looks immediately better. It's just nicer. Bases and faces. I would say
that's what they all say. Great anyway.
Oh, that's very kind of you, but you don't.
Well, no, it does. Really
I would boot you off if you didn't. But, I said I would boot you off if you didn't say it was nice, but
Yeah, you did tell me that. You said right. I need you to come onto my stream, and we'll spend about an hour talking about like dead things on bases and the nature of streaming, and then I need you to compliment Elrond, and then you can go. So
yes, that's right.
I feel like I've discharged my duty.
You have indeed. But yeah, that's what I would say, Gaten. So yeah, give it a go. Honestly, give it a go. That's why I've most of the terrain videos I've done, they don't. The end result isn't amazing by any stretch of the mark. The point of the videos I've done is to show that I can do it, so you can as well. I'm never going to be as good as Up. I'm never going to be good as Luke Town. It's just not going to happen. But worth a go. Sam says I should also clarify my display board is not going to be Matt Davies levels. It'll be simple countryside. Yeah, to be fair, Matt Davies is another great one. His scouring of it was the Brie board at the last Seven Stones was just insanely good. Yeah, Battle Camper thumbs up.
It was so. Didn't they win last year?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Well deserved. But it wasn't even just the board. It was the costumes.
Yeah, costumes.
The fact that the army lists were on like beer stained paper.
Yeah.
They had the little frothy beer dice. Absolutely phenomenal.
That was such a good touch. The dice, because they had a dice that it was yellow and then one side was white, and the sort of it looked like a beer. I don't know how they must have got them made somehow, but. It was like that. Yeah, it was very cleverly done. Really nice.
All out. I mean, I've got a few. I'm just going to blow my own trumpet. This time in 2 weeks' time, when you're discussing who are the great YouTube terrain, you'll be like, that camper guy. I'll never be as good as him, but I can dream.
Yeah, we can all dream. We can all
dream. So I'm basically trying, because that's obviously not true. I'm trying to cheat my way through. We get little sort of glowy gem dice to represent like the Silmaril for.
But that's fine. You know you don't all have to get homemade dice. That's a ridiculous suggestion for anyone to do that. It certainly does raise the bar in terms of who's going to win Seven Stones. So I'm intrigued as to who will take it and what exciting things they've done, because there've been some great people in the past. There was one where they had. Watcher in the Water costume, and they had like 6 legs on it, and each time the Watcher in the Water took a wound, they take one of the legs off and stuff like that. So yeah, there's loads of cool ideas at Seven Stones. It's a great idea.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it's great.
Last year, some of the Sam, I think Sam, who's
Sam Hoodie, yeah,
in chat. Was it you and James who took the Riders of?
Yes, there was a Helm's Deep. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. It was like it was Theoden leading the charge out of the.
At the Hornburg,
the gate at Helm's Deep. That just blew me away. That was absolutely phenomenal. Nice. The scale was incredible, and it was pulled off fantastically. That was one of the first ones I spotted once all the terrain had come out that lunchtime. Yeah, and I was just like, this is incredible. I underestimated the lengths that people go to at this event.
Yeah,
there was also the big dwarven fortress as well. I can't remember whose that was. But that was incredible. Oh
yeah, there was a good. I can't remember who did it, but yeah, it was really nice. There's so many good ones. There always is. I'm hoping to go back next year. It's really sad to miss out this time. But yeah, Tom says
next year. Then
sorry.
If you're looking for a partner next year.
Well, I mean, I will probably go back with Michael Haskell because he's been my regular partner ever since we were put together many years ago.
I just get shot down on a...
Yeah, you did a little. I mean, if Michael is unable to go, then of course you would be my secend choice.
No, I'm not doing sloppy seconds. I'll go with Jan, we were talked briefly about
no, that's it. No, I'm muting you. No, so yeah, I would. You know what? I would love to go with you. We'll see, because Michael is going with someone else this year now. Because so I feel like maybe I've escaped. Maybe I'm kind of, that relationship has been now kind of, unlocked. So maybe there's room for me to go and meet somebody else. Who knows? We'll find out.
I wish you all the luck in the world meeting someone else.
Fair enough. Tom says, cheers for the shout out. As always, Alex, I'll be sending you a box of goodies as soon as per one of our chats about video ideas. Oh, exciting. There you go. Big thumbs up. Sam says, Sean, check Bill the Troll's rules for a way around heroic defense. Check Bill the Troll's rules for a way around heroic defense. That's interesting. I don't know what that is, but that sounds intriguing. J-Max Sammy's Middle Earth. You don't need to put the terrain on Madril or Damrod. That is true, actually. Yes, I did. But I think Faramir is always hopping over the something. It's either a rock or a twig, isn't it? I can't remember which. He has to, because otherwise he'd be floating in midair. So I don't know whether Alex has more to say about terrain bases, but
well, I don't know if anyone knows this, but I'm not actually a big fan of.
Fair enough. On the simple basing, yes, I agree. I've agrees. Farm stable top. I think I agree about dead things on the base, but cool terrain pieces are cool. I think, yeah. Luke Turren is a different Luke. Oh, mind blown. I thought is Luke. Is Luke Turren not Luke's APS? Okay, loads of people are now saying Luke's Turren is not the same. I believe he's Australian. I feel like I've heard both of their names. Why are the two really good Lukes that make terrain? I have to look them up. I'm sure I've watched some of Luke Turren's. If not, Geek Gaming Luke's not the same Luke. Okay, fine. Thank you. Everard Junction is also good. What else? What about Model Airways? What about Model Airways with scenery on the trains bases? Is that a thing? Is this just trying to get Alex to get more incensed by different bases on different things? We'll move on.
It's working, if that's true.
It is, yeah. You can already see his face trying to work out what is going on. Alex is a slum for YouTube, says J-Max Armies in Middle Earth. The miss is on her way home, says Matthew Fremantle. Early night must mean she's already pished. Thanks for entertaining me this evening. Oh, Matt. See, I'm lucky. I was wondering whether that might happen to me, because at some point I will get a call or a text saying, I'm done drinking now. Can you please come and pick me and my drunk friends up and drop them off home? So that may well end the podcast for me this evening. But Matt, thank you very much. We need to do a prize draw at some point, actually. Go on, you can say something.
This is why, if you're chronically alone, there's no interrupting. You get
chronically alone. That's not just that's a great way of putting it.
You get to peel foil all night long.
Yeah, nothing's stopping you. This is what it says. Gerton says, and this is why I like Entmoot content. I feel you say and do what you believe in, not for the views, and I feel it is real and true. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put that as a quote on my Entmoot description or something, because that's very kind of you. Yes, that is honestly, that is one of the things that I've wanted to get across. I'm not trying to make the monies, and it does the people who submit to Patreon, they do get things. And actually, that's one of the things I was going to talk about. They do get things, and also they support all the other stuff. But genuinely, I'm not in it for that. I just want to make stuff that you like. So I'm glad you say that.
Yeah, I've slightly overcommitted to my patrons.
Yeah. What have you done? Oh, yeah, because you've done your. You know what? I'd missed the stream because you've assigned everyone like an individual model in the backlog.
Oh, mate, I think that's awesome. I'm loving it.
It's cool. Yeah, I like that.
No. What I've done is I've promised to buy every one of them a copy of the new SBG magazine, which I thought was £5 each. But they're not. They're £10 each. So I've doubled my outlay overnight. But that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, you just send it a month later or something. That's no problem. That's a good idea. I've got one to give away for free, so you've just made me look like a complete cheapo right now.
Everyone, is that the prize on this stream or something?
Yeah, it's a free. So
free... you're giving a copy of the magazine away, and I've just announced that I'm giving every single one of my patrons a copy of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't have to pay for this. So
Harry's patrons, I think you know where you need to come for proper rewards.
No, hold on a second. Let's not mix the messages here. The patrons get something really expensive and cool, but the general viewers, they get a chance. They're not paying a penny. They get a chance.
My general viewers don't get shit, so that's fine.
Yeah. Exactly. So I actually don't know how to do this, but maybe at some point in the evening I should do a prize draw. In fact, yeah, I'll just put your names in the chat at some point. I'll say put your names in the chat, and we'll see who gets the SPG magazine. But it's not out yet. It's released in 2 weeks' time. So actually, it's quite a good time to get the free one given away, because then you know whether or not to buy one. Because I know in the time before, I've given away one of these and people have said, I don't really want it, I've just bought it, which is a bit of a shame. So now we can big up for SPG magazine, which, by the way, may include 1 or 2 members of this stream in the future. Is that right, Mr. Alex Temple?
Yes, I'm in the next one, that the issue that's being released in a couple of weeks' time.
Very exciting.
Are you
allowed to reveal any details about that?
I wouldn't dare, because I want to be invited back. All I'll say is I just had no idea how much work went into these magazines. I've read most of quite a lot of what's in it, I think, so far in draft form, and it's just incredible. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I'm just trying to reach over and get one of the copies just so people can have a bit of context. But this is the last one. So these are the magazines. This isn't the next one, obviously, because that's not out yet. But this is the quality you're looking at. Proper magazine stuff. There's Generation Shift on the background. There's Road to Rivendell. This was and look at just the detail of these photos. The paint jobs are insanely good as it is, but also just the settings and some stuff like that.
And they get terrain like they get terrain purpose built for the battle reports in it, and the boards always just look absolutely stunning. That's incredible. And
it's proper. My favorite things about it is it's got proper like hobby content that it's just good fun, because it's got it feels like it's very connected to the people who are involved in the old kind of White Dwarf way. Where you used to have I know they still do it a bit in the White Dwarf with the bunker at the end, but it's not as very. You don't have a picture of an actual person to look at and say, oh yeah, they're kind of like me, or not, depending on whether you think that they are or not. But it's just lovely. So I'd highly recommend all of these things, because they're really good. And I understand so is it a battle report you're involved in, or is it a write-up of some sort, or again, are you not allowed to reveal much more detail? You're muted.
I'm glad I was muted, because I said something I probably shouldn't have said. I'll say I'm in a few bits and pieces. Okay. I think I can say, because I think they've said that I did do a full article for it, which was a really fantastic experience. The funny thing about this magazine is people get really, really sort of they put on the rose tinted goggles for the old SPG magazine, the old Battle Games in Middle Earth bi-weekly magazine, which was cool. It was awesome. I got all of them at the time, or some of them I got some of them at the time, and they are fantastic. But it's like this is better. It's like that was awesome, but it was I think a lot of the reason people bought it at the time was because it came with the free toys, and the magazine itself was sort of just fine. It didn't blow my socks off. This actually does, and I'm not just saying it because I'm in it, although that does definitely.
That does always help. You know what? I was just looking, because I was in one of I wrote an article for one of these magazines, and I can't find it. I can't find the magazine with me in it, which is always very disappointing. So I know I gave one away as a prize last time, but I can't. I've stupidly not ordered them in kind of number order, which is obviously that's a very me thing to do, is to have a shelf of magazines and have them all in 11, 7, issue 3, issue 4, issue 1, issue 12. There it is. That's my one. I was in that. Which again, look at the front of that. That is such a beautiful picture. That is what we're in this hobby for. And there's gaming, there's tactics, it's great. So I will be giving one one of these away at some point in the evening, probably before 11, because I realise people at some point will start waning and maybe going off to bed and all that sort of stuff. But they are fantastic, so it won't be anything complicated. I don't know whether Alex can think up something more fun than just putting people's names in the chat, but I kind of just want it to be a random draw or something like that, rather than it be about you being knowledgeable or funny or anything like that. So do you have a good idea, Alex?
We could battle all my Ents to the death, and whoever picks the one that's likely to win gets it. Although, what if multiple people pick the same Ent? It doesn't work. No, I don't have an idea. No. I
like that idea. We'd have to have a lot of rounds, wouldn't we? Yeah, that's the
problem. We'd have to have a lot of rounds. Yeah. No, I don't. I'll think. You
think, yeah. Maybe if someone comes up with an idea in the chat, then we can do it like that. Brilliant. Let's carry. There's quite a few more comments coming in, so I'll keep going on. I love the one where his brother sat in the background with just boxers on. Is that Luke? Luke's Army's Military? Oh, is that you? I don't know. I don't know what that's in relation to. Farm to Tabletop says, I mean, you say people go on YouTube to see someone's dad put a shelf up, but objectively, more people go on YouTube to watch Mr. Beast. Don't know what Mr. Beast is. I don't know.
Oh, YouTube... I'm sorry. To quote you earlier when I didn't know whoever was married to Orlando Bloom.
Who is Mr. Beast?
I can't believe you don't know who Mr. Beast. You do not have your finger on the pulse.
What is Mr. Beast?
He's like one of the most famous YouTubers that exists.
Is he a Lord of the Rings SBG YouTuber?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you should watch.
Is he actually?
Yeah, mate. He earns millions of pounds with one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world doing SPG.
No, he doesn't. I've just Googled him and he does not. I now know him. He's the one who opened that burger bar, isn't he?
I don't know anything about him. But I just know that
I got you. I think he was. Yeah, maybe not. Either way, I don't. Yeah, you see, people do watch Mr. Beast, so there you go. YouTube be fickle. It's why with my work we went down the route of sponsors and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Although I feel like content that involves enacting incompetence to invoke. I feel. Although I like content that involves enacting incompetence to invoke a feel of authenticity. Is that Farm to Tabletop throwing shade on you, Alex, for your pretending to be incompetent?
Excuse me, my incompetence is 100% authentic.
Same here. Yeah.
I said, look, I've said this. I think I've said it in one of my videos. I'm honest. I think it is important to not be falsely modest, and because it kind of I think people get frustrated with it if you're like, it's like, oh, this is shit. Oh, I did this shit. So I think I'm quite open about what I am good at, and there are things that I'm good at. I think some of my armies look good. I think some of my armies are painted well. I think I know. I think I know a thing or two about painting.
Yeah. 100%. And actually, I can tell that you will be a good gamer once you've played a bit more.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I don't think either of us are ever going to be top table players, but I can tell that you're the only thing you lack is experience on the tabletop, and that's
Thank you.
That is.
I can tell you'll be good. Funny. I wouldn't say that about other games. I wouldn't say that about like 40k.
No.
Some people, like there's a guy I know called Boris who owns Bad Moon Cafe in Borough.
Oh, right. Okay.
Fantastic little venue. If anyone, no, I think Farm to Tabletop. I know you know it. And he's absolutely incredible at 40k. It's really frustrating because I taught him his first game of 40k. Like we went to this open. It was this really nice event actually. It was like it was specifically designed for people to come along and play like the first games. So it was just about people playing each other for the first time. And so he went, and I think he'd played once, and I'd played this edition a few times, and I absolutely trounced him. And that was the only time I would ever beat him. And then he went on to be like this world champion player. He won like this huge tournament in Gibraltar 2 years in a row with like an army that wasn't very well optimized, and just went on to become absolutely amazing. But he also plays Middle Earth, and I think I can beat him at Middle Earth. And I think it's because it's just such a fundamentally different game with such a fundamentally different way of thinking. It's not about like target prioritization in 40k is obviously absolutely massive. Knowing what beats what, it's very, very rock, paper, scissors. Whereas Middle Earth is, of course, a lot more positioning heavy, a bit more chessy.
It's exactly.
It
can be quite easy to learn, but it's very difficult to master, and it takes a lot of practice to get it exactly right. So yeah, I can totally see that. But yeah, it's good. So not incompetent. Well, yes, incompetent in many different ways, but authentically incompetent. That's what we advocate here.
Might well be worse.
Yeah, it could be. This is Sam saying now they got a beer wizard to magic the dice into existence. Fact. This is about the Seven Stones, Matt Davies stuff. James Wilson says, thank you for the compliment. Alex was very pleased with the Helm's Deep board. He used the actual GW Helm's Deep model too. Yeah. Is that? I'm pretty sure that's the one that's got like a lovely felt or velvet bottom to it. They're very nice. It's nice. It's nice finish, that having a velvet base to those big lumps of resin, and they're very hard to come by. I did briefly have one not that long ago, and sold it for a pretty penny. But the problem is they're not very functional for a sort of scatter terrain or anything. But you used it in a really nice way, James, because they work perfectly for those sorts of display boards, but not really for much else. So great way of using it. Another Sam one. It was us. James put the insane effort into building Helm's Deep and its causeway. I just showed him rolled badly, leading to a picture of being chased down the corridor, but by my horse with my sword. If you like, I can send it to Harry to put on here if possible. And if you want to put the pictures, put them in the chat. I put a post in the Great British Hobbit League earlier on this evening. JMac has been putting some stuff in. I haven't looked at. There's only one, but if you put more stuff in to there, I can get them on the thing as pretty much as soon as possible. So yeah, do that. Why not? Let me just.
Can I just interject to say?
Go on. Yeah.
Said, he wasn't trying to be shady. Sure, it wasn't trying. To
I didn't think he would be.
No, he wasn't trying to be too shady. And
okay.
I think the word "too" there in that sentence is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
It is doing an awful lot. Yeah. Where I've just literally just downloaded this image that JMac has posted, and I have no idea which folder I put it in. There it is. Okay, so this is JMac's image of his Balrogs, and feel free to put your images in the thing. But this is some cool Balrogs right here. Check this out. Hold on, where's your comments? Why is it in the way? Look at those Balrogs. They're awesome, aren't they? So I don't know what they're made out of. They must be Balrog bits. That axe is insane. And then there's Morgoth in the background. So really, really cool stuff. Thank you for putting those in, John. That's awesome. Where else? Chris Baird says, add a Smaug to the giveaway, quick. If only. 3 Smaugs, maybe. Old white dwarves. Old white dwarves are cool. Yeah, they're classic. I'd say it is at least 4 to 5 white dwarf content. I mean, go to for the SPG mag. I think it's more than that. Currently, there's very little SPG actually in the main white dwarf, so it's well worth. I mean, they were good. The thing is, what I like about them is they're not only really good reads, and they're well written. The spell check is perfect, and I know that sounds like a weird compliment, but it's so rare to see good publications on sort of either blogs or on the internet or sort of fanzines that aren't sort of littered with poor grammar and things like that, and they really put a lot of effort. Yeah, exactly, and they put an awful lot of effort into making sure that they're really nice, really nice productions and really nicely written and all that sort of stuff. It just looks fantastic.
Definitely a passion project.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you can tell. And imagine you having it. Oh damn it! I just put it on the shelf and it fell straight off and smashed itself. So it's passion project I'm throwing over. But I'd imagine, Alex, based on the how the photos were taken and how the battle report developed itself, that that they put an awful lot of effort into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, just sort of it was staggering. Like looking at the magazine, I knew it looked good. It's one of those strange things, isn't it? It's like I found this when I started getting into music recording. You know that something sounds good, but obviously, if it truly sounds good, you can't pick up on how they got it to that state, what went into it, the layers and the effort. And I think it's the same with the magazine. Like you can pick up a magazine like that, and you're like, cool, yeah, they've whacked some pictures on there, and they've like put some text in, and then they've kind of sent it off to the printers. But because that's only because it's done properly that it looks easy.
They say that about editors in filmmaking. If you ever read film criticism, they say, you know, if you're an editor and you've done a really good job of your thing, nobody will ever notice. Or, you know, same with sort of modern CGI and stuff like that. People only really pick it out if it's crap. But you know, now I guess it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? Cool. Yeah, MESPG White Dwarf content. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Get in. Tom says, I need to get these magazines in my life. Every payday I seem to forget to email. Maybe a free issue will encourage my brain to remember and wallet to open. Well, Tom, it's your lucky day. Chris Baird says, is there a lingerie section?
It's one of my patrons, so he's getting one anyway.
Okay. Well, are you getting him? Are you getting everyone the first issue, or?
Oh no, just the one I'm in. It's shameless self-promotion.
Well, you can cancel your patron subscription to Alex briefly, and then I'll give you this free one, and then you can redo it after it, and then it's all fine. You'll save £10 or whatever it is. So the patron wars have begun. Chris Baird, is there a lingerie section? It's not that kind of magazine. Emma Marshall says, yeah. Well, if it is a lingerie magazine, we'll be desperately disappointed when it's Alex in a tiny thong. No, do not start unbuttoning, Alex, please. Emma Marshall says, can I join the giveaway too, please? Of course you can. Once we've worked out how we're doing this. Yes, sure. Gates says, I believe it's cheaper than White Dwarf as well. Yeah, I think it's getting on that way because White Dwarf's about £8 these days. So it's 10 quid for a SPG magazine. It's technically a £10 donation encouraged. Because you can get the first issues on the internet for free on their SPG magazine website. They're PDF versions, but the actual physical ones are nice to have. But you can just, if you want to try before you buy, go for that. Alex is pish. I nearly beat Alex with a 400-point deficit.
That is total nonsense. The scenario he's referring to, it was one that like you only had a 400-point deficit until like the late game, and then the Witch King came on with a bunch of other nonsense. We were doing a Battle of the Pelennor style thing. I can't remember exactly. I had to kill. I can't remember. I had to kill someone in order to trigger his like end game host of beasties to come on and help him out.
It's a lot of excuses coming out of your mouth right now.
I won. I won, and I won handily. Thank you very much.
Did you? Okay. Well, I'll accept your
dude. Obviously, I wouldn't dare say any of this if he was actually here to defend himself.
Farm Tabletop, I wasn't trying to be too shady. It's just a genuine preference for less slick, slightly incompetent, authentic feeling content. Great. Then you're in the right place, Farm Tabletop. Thank you very much. Post Teen Spirit. Pick is on the Facebook post. Excellent. I will get that in a second, or so it says. I haven't had a. Well, it's not. It's not. Oh yeah, no. There's 5 comments that have just come in. Okay, excellent stuff. So I'll put that in there. There's there's a few people. Yeah, feel free to put all your other stuff in. Leon has put in something. I will show that in a second. Yeah. So because I remember Leon was saying something about done lendings earlier. So we'll get them in. And I'll put them on the thing, and we can have a look at what's going on here. Oh, my microphone is bipping because my phone's near it. So this is the image that Sam Hoodie was referring to a few minutes ago. My phone was bipping because we've got a message from the other half. So the stream will end at around 11 o'clock as I go and pick her up. So. Immediately, we need to descend. We need to scratch what we were doing and start thinking of ways to give away the magazines. So what I'm going to do is basically, if you're watching right now, put your name into the comments. Just say something like, "I'd like a magazine, please," and then I will put them all in a spreadsheet. Choose a random number, and what we'll do is we'll give them away before 11 o'clock. So that's what we do. Get straight into it now. Will be all very exciting. And I'll just quickly message my other half back to let her know I will be late. I'll be late. Later than that. 11:15-ish? Question mark. Lovely. Right, done. Right. There we go. Look at all the. You cannot do that, Alex. You can't do that. You're there. You're right in front of me. You can't have a magazine. Look at this outrage.
I don't recall that being one of the rules.
I mean, I did say if you're watching right now, I suppose you technically are.
I am watching.
You will get a free one being in the magazine. They will just give you one anyway.
Well, I want this one. So
if you win it, I'm going to be really annoyed. Okay, so right, let's get a spreadsheet up because that's the way to do these sorts of things. So sheets, we'll get a nice sheet. So yeah, keep putting your names in the hat. And we'll do it. So it looks like Frederick Schultz wants to be in it. So Frederick, who else is going to be in there? Who else?
Put Alex in there, right?
Not yet. We need a JMac v Battle Camper bat rep. The tagline can be, and with a mighty rush, rebellious Scots to crush. Oh.
It's a reference, I think, to a now deleted but formerly actual verse in the national anthem.
Ah, that's a good reference.
Actually used to refer to rebellious Scots to crush.
All right, well there you go. Oh my god,
so
there's lots of people doing it. Where is all the battle camp? So Dan Maskell wants a magazine. Excellent. I'll put his name in. Who else? Callum M27. Callum M27. Who else? Fat Hobbit Gaming wants in. Fat Hobbit Gaming. Sorry, I'm just losing my track. James Wilson, you're in. Who else is in there? Matthew Fremantle. It's nice to see you all still watching after all this time. So thank you very much for joining us all this evening. It's been a pleasure to be here. Woody Brackets Rec. Woody Rec. Oh, this is all very exciting. I quite like this. Emma Marshall, you're in there. Excellent. Emma Marshall. Yorick Vink. Hello, Yorick. You haven't said hello yet. Nice to bring you out there. Clearly, just watching and enjoying the content, which is brilliant. Chris Baird in there. Chris Baird. Someone called Battle Camper in there. Yeah. Again. Tom and Emma Marshall. Oh, is this a relation? Tom and Emma Marshall. This is interesting. We'll put both of you in the name in that thing. Extra content if you're related. If not, but that's fine. Who else? Farm to Tabletop. Farm to Tabletop does not want to have his name in there by the look of it, unless you're already in there. No. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, I'll give you one or two more minutes. Yorick Vink says certainly enjoying. Joined a bit later. Excellent stuff. So that's cool. So the other thing I should do. This is for patrons, really. I just so you know, for anyone who is a patron of mine on the old Entmoot. Or Battle Games of Middle Earth. I do regular, well, I say regular, semi-regular prize draws for anyone who is a current patron. And the higher tier you are, the more entries you get. You get like prizes anyway. This is going to be sent off to Jeremy Hildebrandt at some point in the not too distant future in Canada. And also, these people are in the jar, and I'm going to draw out two names, and both of them will get a £20 voucher for 7th City Gaming. Oh, so that's pretty good. And that will be usable in abroad and everything. Because in the past I've done this sort of stuff, and I couldn't even send stuff abroad. So I'll do those first, and then I'll do yours once I've done the thing. So the first name, I've actually already pulled it out. It was this one, which is Jason Mountain gets a £20 voucher. So that's not you, Alex, I'm afraid. Sorry, I can see the disappointment. It's great.
I'm a patron and I've never won any.
I know. I feel bad for you. But it would be a bit suspect if I pulled your name out of the thing there.
I think that would be suspect if you didn't.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So a second one for the patron prize draws. So this is for a £20 voucher. I can't look because otherwise that would be cheating. So we're cheering on Battle Camper. All right, we've got a thing. So this is all the names, by the way, in there. I'm not going to show you anything, but here we go. There is a name. It is Ev H. Everard Harvey. Now, Ev H was on the chat earlier. I don't know whether he's still in because he's America way, somewhere in the States. So he caught. I think he was surprised to see that I was doing this live. So he was definitely in for a while. So well, there you go. Bravo. to both of you, I'll get in touch with you directly. Now, the final thing is to do the random draw for. So I've got Tom Marshall and Emma Marshall. Yeah, Emma Marshall's the Mrs. Marshall you said was a good egg earlier while I was doing pots. I really hope you win because you are a good egg. So that's good. So we've got 1 to 12. I wonder, do we want to do this with a dice of some sort? Because I know people like dice-based random draws.
We do roll dice. That's true. That's
I see what you did there. Very good. If anyone hasn't heard Alex's wonderful song, "We Roll Dice,"
excellent, definitely number one platinum song.
Soon to be platinum selling song. I can't wait.
It's amazing because there was a day when it did actually sell a few copies on Bandcamp, but it's only ever sold copies on a single day. And what Bandcamp does is it gives you like a timeline of when you've sold stuff.
Right.
And so I've just got this like one bar, and every single day it moves to the left until eventually just left the screen altogether.
Oh, that's such a tragedy for you. But
So
it's okay because you've done good things. So now I'm gonna see if I can share my screen in some way. Yeah, share a screen. Untitled spreadsheet. Okay, here we go. So hopefully you can see this now. Yeah. So you can see untitled spreadsheet next to you, which has got everyone's name. There's not loads of you, but that's good because it increases your chances. And so good egg. I see Emma's put a little thing there. So you can see there, Frederick is number 1. Battle Camper is number 2. Dan is number 3. Callum M27 is number 4. Fat Hobbit Gaming is number 5. Number 6 is James Wilson. Matthew Threemantle is 7. Woody Rec is 8. Emma Marshall is 9. Yorick Vink is 10. And someone is 11. So, there must be 12. Who's the 12th? Is that Tom Marshall? It must be Tom Marshall. Have I not put him in? Yeah, I put him in there. Okay, Tom Marshall. Right, so we're going to do 2 rounds of 6, I think. So the first 6 are in this round. So, and whoever wins this one will get through to the next round. So obviously a roll of a 1 will be Frederick, 2 will be Battle Camper Dan, and so on up until James Wilson is number 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap camera. Oh, JMac. Oh no, you've just ruined my fantastically even numbers. So JMac, put them in there. We'll work it out in a second. So how do we do this? We've got 13 people. How do we do a roll of that? How do we make this even? Random number generator. That's not got dice in it.
Well, then get a D20, and you'll just have to re-roll 7 through 20.
I haven't got the kind of time for that. How about I pick 2 out with random number generator and then roll a dice to decide which one it is. Let's do that. So we'll get a random number generator. This is all very complicated, and my other half will be very upset that I'm taking this long to come pick her up. But right, so random number generator. So she's probably watching. So remember your numbers 1 to 13, because I'm going to present a different screen. How's the peeling going, by the way? Is it all good?
I've nearly done one side.
Excellent. Good work.
It's taken me like 2 hours, but there we go.
Excellent stuff. Right, so you should be able to see in the distance 1 to 13. So I'm going to generate 2 numbers at random, and those are going to be in the final to win an as yet unpublished SBG magazine. So here we go. We've got 1 to 13. So person going through to the final, number 1 is number 3, which was Dan, not Battle Camper. Dan, congratulations, Dan. You're the first finalist. Then the second one, it could bring Alex Battle Camper Temple into there, or it could be another exciting viewer. Let's have a look. Here we go. Oh, number 7, not Alex Temple. Here we go. It's Matthew Freemantle and Dan in the final round.
What a waste of an evening.
What a waste of an evening. So there we go. Right, now so finally we're going to swap camera to what I hope is going to be a well-lit tray. Here we go. Look at this. Look at the fanciness here. So I've got some notes there. I'll get them out of the way. And you can see this table has seen better days with painting and all that sort of stuff. So on a 1, 2, 3, Tom Marshall says, a bit too late for the raffle, but I've just joined your Patreon tier. That's very kind of you, Tom. Thank you so much. You'll actually get one of these dice, which has got an Entmoot logo on it. So look at that. beautiful. And a widget and some other bits, hopefully, if they all come in time. So that's cool. Thank you, Tom. That's very kind. 1, 2, 3 was Dan, and 4, 5, 6 is Matthew Fremantle. Who does everyone think is going to win? Put in the chat immediately before I roll the dice. Is it going to go low or is it going to go high? I'm rolling the dice. Tell me when to throw the dice, Alex.
Okay.
Are we going to wait an uncomfortably long amount of time, or
not yet? Not yet.
Do you want me to keep doing this sort of slightly erotic image?
Keep doing it.
Yep.
Nearly there. All right, now you can go.
Oh, it goes high. That's Matthew Fremantle. So well done to Matthew Fremantle. I would encourage you to get in touch with me in some way, shape, or form, and I will send you a message, and we can deliver that that free copy of the new SBG magazine, featuring none other than Alex Basilcamper Temple, because we're very excited.
Guaranteed it's going to go straight in the trash.
That is the safe place for it. But there you go. So thank you very much. Unlucky to everyone else. So Matthew, does Sam? I don't think Sam Hoodie put his name in there. But anyway, Sam, you can just buy one at Scout a thingy anyway. So thank you very much, everyone. Get in touch with me, Matt. Where is Matthew? I feel like he's not said his name for a while. Anyway, whoever it is, you're in there. There you are. Yeah, you were there. Okay, well done. I'd like a magazine, he says. So that's good. Brilliant. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. I actually forgot to do my game. I always do a game. We just got chatting too much. So maybe we should just do my game briefly to finish off. Can you remember this game, Alex? Have you done this before?
I do remember this game, yeah. Do
you remember it being good or bad?
It's good. It's a good game.
Is it a good game?
It's a good game. Do it.
Okay, right. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is a big finale. So stop commenting over the stuff in the chat. What you need to do is prepare yourself to watch this exciting clip. And it's not from the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit films. It's from The Rings of Power. So proceed to boo or cheer appropriately, depending on your personal opinion. What you have to do is look at this, and then I will ask a question after this clip, and you have to tell me the answer to said question. I could have done this to win the SBG magazine, but I just thought it'd be too random and weird and complicated, and people don't like that sort of stuff. So let's just do it for fun. So prepare yourself. Yes, who speaks next and what do they say? That sort of thing, but not quite that. It is actually going to be a random question that I haven't yet revealed. So watch this clip very carefully. Alex, are you watching carefully? He is. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's the clip.
The true purpose of your visit, you want something.
I journeyed here to see my friend whom I've greatly missed.
Missed? You missed my wedding. The birth of my children, 2 of them. You cannot barge into my mountain and demand I welcome you with open arms. You cannot claim that which you discarded. 20 years may be the blink of an eye to an elf. But I've lived an entire life in that time. A life you missed. So what do you have to say to that, friend?
Oh, what a clip! What a clip!
Fucking hell!
It's a good clip, though, isn't it? He was not happy.
Good clip. I forgot how much I enjoyed their relationship.
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd bring it back. So, as Frederick is already filling the chat with what he thinks is predicted questions. So the question is, what animal was at the top of the
eagle?
What animal was at the top of the lift? And
yes!
Alex, you know what you could have done? You could have waited and given everyone a chance. This is, you ruin good things. I don't think it's. You know what?
I saw the eagle.
I actually don't think it's an eagle either. I think it's another kind of bird. Probably something like a raven or a because that has links to like Norse mythology and stuff like that.
J-Mac and James both these things.
Yeah, J-Mac and James have said eagle. Although Callum has said raven. So I'm going to say Callum gets it right and stick my middle finger up to you, Alex. So
Well, right back at you.
pigeon says Chris Baird. It's a pigeon. It's a pigeon. Well, that was very quick though. Maybe I just wanted to play that clip, and that was the only question I could think of for said clip. So yeah, I guess well done. What's the bird that's in the Hobbit books? Oh yeah, the one that knocks. Yeah, that knocks the little acorn. Yeah, I can't remember what it is. That one. That bird. Anyway, well done to Alex for both ruining the game and also winning the game, I guess. So
it took all my energy to wait. Just the second I saw it, I was like, "That's the question." That's the question.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, because there wasn't a lot else going on. Right, brilliant. Well, Alex, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. To everyone who's been in this evening watching, I hope you've had an enjoyable evening. It could be Crebine from Dunline. Oh, he's put Crab-Eye. I like that. Crebine from Dunline. Thrush. It's Thrush. Yes, there you go. Yeah, you're not always something you say you want to see on a Friday night, but anyway, thank you very much everyone for watching. Alex, it's been a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing the next video in the Scouring of Cheshire series and the Scottish series. Can we be excited for that in the coming days or weeks, or are you going to be spending your evenings peeling foil off?
It's going to be June.
June. Cool.
Yeah, sorry about that. But thank you so much for having me on. I've loved it. It's been brilliant.
It's brilliant. We'll do this again at some point I think the last time I did this was 6 months ago or something like that. So, maybe
I'll see you around September time then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, great.
Right. In the meantime, thanks everyone for watching, and check out the YouTube channel videos in the future and also the podcast. There'll be more coming soon. All the best. Cheerio. Bye.